It's the biggest game on the planet, and nobody breaks it down like Jim Rome.
Who do you think will be the last one standing this year?
Fearless debate and the best callers in sports.
On any given week, you have lots to beef about. Take advantage of it. Get up in here.
Big games, big opinions, and zero mercy.
We'll get to all of that. You've been warned.
He's the Spitfire of Sports Smack.
A lot to get to, and I'm not sure you're going to like all of it. I don't even care if you like all of it or not. I have a job to do.
The Jim Rome Show.
What's your beef?
Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Progressive makes bundling easy and affordable. Get a multi-policy discount by combining your motorcycle, RV, boat, ATV, and more. All your protection in one place. Bundle and save at Progressive.com.
It's the Game Network Traffic Report.
Last look at that traffic and weather for your ride in on this Friday morning. Couple accidents to report. One at Broad River Road near Beatty, another one at Hugie and Blossom. 2 Notch Road and Grampian Hills Road. I-26 westbound at I-77. I-26 eastbound at Bush River Road and Kelly Mill near Street. High today is 59 with a little bit of a breeze. High tomorrow 51 with lots of sunshine, 28 here in downtown Columbia on your Friday on the Game.
Point with Tyler Head and Jack Veltri.
And the kick is good.
Call or text 803-404-6100 on the Game Network.
9 o'clock on your Friday morning. Welcome in. It is the Extra Point. Tyler Head and Jack Veltri along with you here on the Game. Jack, Fridays are always exciting. I feel a little more extra excited for this Friday. It's Super Bowl weekend. Got a lot of stuff going on, a lot of things to talk about over the course of the next couple of hours, but it's also bittersweet because we are going to be finally ending the football season that stretches all the way back to August. And then, as I talk about a lot, that long, cold off season for the next 8 months after that.
First off, happy Friday. Does this feel like the longest week we've had in a while?
It really does, man.
Okay.
Because we came back from the new year. I didn't have a voice, so that certainly didn't help. We had the MLK holiday the other week, so this is really one of the first full weeks we've actually been back in here since the new year started.
Like, it's crazy. Caroline was telling me earlier, she's like, man, this feels like a really long week. And I'm like, I know. So it really has been a long week. And I'm like, I'm surprised it's Friday. It feels like it should be like Thursday or Wednesday or something. But yeah, man, we are finally here with the Super Bowl. It's been a long NFL season to get to this point, but it's flown by per usual. And yeah, we're in the end game now, as they would say, with the final game of the season. And I'm hoping it's a good one on Sunday that'll send us into the off season on a high note. And soon enough, it'll be springtime. We'll have football to eventually talk about there. And then a few months after that, we'll have to wait a while, but it'll be SEC Media Days before we know it down in Tampa. And then a month after that, we'll get fall camp going, and then it'll be college football season, and then NFL.
We've been slowly putting plans together for Media Days coming up in July, and like you said, it's going to be down in Tampa. It's going to be a lot different vibe than being in Atlanta, I can tell you that much. I've never been to Tampa before, but I can tell you it's going to be way different than being in Atlanta.
No, I will be going down there in a few months, sometime in April, so looking forward to that. But yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to going down to Tampa. I've been down there probably once or twice, but it'll be cool going there for the SEC Media Days.
Looking forward to that, certainly. Last night, a lot of action going on across Gamecock Sports. You were over at Beckham Field for the season opener for softball. unfortunately didn't go the way we wanted it. It looked like Carolina was off in a pretty good position, up 4-1 towards the end of that game, but then the sixth inning comes along, and Emma Friedel, the transfer from Wake Forest, first pitch goes over the wall as a home run, and then she just could not get a handle, ends up loading the bases, walking in another run, and, poor Jory Hurd, who had a really good start to the game. Yeah, that's a tough spot to come in, bases loaded, no outs, and try and fix that from there, as unfortunately the Gamecocks gave up 7, and that was kind of all she wrote for game number 1.
Just not a good night for the Gamecocks from that standpoint of Emma Friedel, who's going to be one of South Carolina's better pitchers this season, just really never got in command at all. I mean, from that first pitch where she gives up the long solo home run to center field, that kind of set the wheels in motion for a pretty rough outing. And when you bring Jory Hurd back in, she's in a near impossible situation, bases loaded, nobody out. And it's like, what is she supposed to do here, right? So she really couldn't do much to get out of it, even with how good she's been pitching for South Carolina last year. And even last night, she was pitching pretty solid in the initial start that she made. But, yeah, I don't blame Ashley Chastain Woodard for the move to go to Friedel. I think maybe the plan was going to always be Hurd, Josie Marone, and then you go to Friedel. And the plan kind of backfired on her, and then had to go off script pitching Hurd again, and then went to Neely Lamb, who pitched well after that. But, yeah, and also from a South Carolina offensive standpoint, it's crazy because they gave up those 7 runs in that 6th inning. They had a chance right after that to go ahead and tie the game. They had the bases loaded with, I believe, 2 outs, and Tate Davis hit a really hard line drive to center field, but ball was caught, and that ended the inning. They just weren't very good with runners in scoring position last night. Went 1 for 14 with RISP, so that's just not going to be enough to win the ball game.
That's not going to get done elsewhere in that top of the 6th inning as well. You also had Ari Rhodey. She was off the base at first on a throw over there. You had the ball that went off Lelio's glove. You missed a throw to second base. Like, everything that could have gone wrong in that inning did. And when you're playing a ranked team like Virginia Tech is, you can't make those kind of mistakes. And again, it's one game, start of the season, a lot of softball left to play, but hopefully they can bounce back in their second game. Syracuse, I believe, today at 3 o'clock is game number 2 for them.
Yes, so not too bad over there. They'll be fine. It's not the end of the world. But on the other end, women's basketball last night.
Yes.
I think this is where we should hit our Sandstorm minute because Joyce Edwards, congratulations, 1,000 career points.
I was thinking the same thing. Let's hit it.
Time to get hyped. Here's your 9 a.m. Sandstorm, sponsored by George Sink Injury Lawyers. Just call all 9s.
Oh, it is time for your 9 a.m. Sandstorm Pick Me Up, brought to you by South Carolina's largest injury law firm, George Sink Injury Lawyers. If you've been hurt in the car or work, call George Sink now at 803 all 9s. Yes, over at Colonial Life Arena last night, South Carolina picks up the dominant win, 88-45 over Mississippi State. But the story was Joyce Edwards, who scored 21 points in the game last night, but eclipsed the 1,000-point mark, the 5th fastest Gamecock to ever get there in women's basketball. And she spoke about that after the game last night.
Curiosity, Joyce, did you know how many from 1,000 you were away going into tonight?
No, I don't really think about that stuff, so.
And are you aware that you did it in 5 fewer games than Asia Wilson did?
No. That's cool.
Initial thoughts on that?
Obviously she's a great player. I'm trying to be where she's at. So, I don't think it really means much because she has accomplished so much more than me in basketball. So, everybody's goal is just to be just like her.
So, Joyce advised that she wasn't aware of how close she was to that record going into last night's game. Dawn Staley disagreed.
Joyce knows about everything. She knew how close she was. She knew when she was going to do it. It's great. It's great. She's she can put the ball in the hole, and we're not surprised at how quickly she got it. We're just happy she's on our team.
It's so crazy, Jack, because she's not even through 2 full seasons here at South Carolina. Like, she's basically a little over a year and a half into her college career, and there's a lot of basketball left to be played for her time here at South Carolina. And positioning her against somebody like an Asia Wilson is like, oh, could she be an all-time great? We'll certainly see, but she is well on her way to maybe having her own statue in front of CLA one day.
That'd be pretty crazy, yeah. Great game for her last night. 21 points, 8 of 11 shooting, 6 assists in 24 minutes. Really good game overall for South Carolina last night. That's, of course, what happens when you win by as much as they did in 88-45 rout. Just really good overall game last night. 4 other players had double-digit points. Ayla McDowell, 16 points on 6 of 12 shooting, 4 of 8 from three-point range. So good overall night for this team, and that's exactly what they need to do against these teams moving forward.
Yeah, and that was Ayla McDowell's first start of the season and came in and did really well. Again, they're still without Tanai Latson and Agot McKeer, and we'll see how their statuses change going into the weekend because they do have a huge matchup coming up on Sunday as they take on Tennessee, which you can listen to right here on the game. That'll be the lead-in to the Super Bowl. That game will be at 3 o'clock, so be over around 5, and, of course, Super Bowl kicks off at 6:30, so you can look forward to that before the big game comes up later on that day. But I thought, last night, because you look at the past couple of weeks, they, of course, lost that game on the road to Oklahoma. They played down to Texas A&M on Monday. They won the game and, kind of pulled away there at the end, but it was a lot closer than we thought it was going to be through most of that game. So to see them go out there and dominate the way we kind of expect them to, good to see them kind of get back on track in that sense.
It is, because the schedule is going to really pick up now moving forward with Tennessee on Sunday, like you said, and then the following Saturday on Valentine's Day. That Saturday night game against LSU is going to be rocking. So, yeah, good time for the Gamecocks to get a real big win here and do it in dominant fashion.
What is Kim Mulkey going to wear on Valentine's Day?
It's either going to be like a sweater or like a I don't know what the equivalent for like a women's sports coat is. I'm guessing maybe it is literally just that, but it'll probably be like a jacket of some sort with hearts on it. It'll be something Valentine's Day related, or maybe she'll just go classic with some tiger fur or something.
It's going to be something that's going to catch your attention, that's for sure.
Oh, as always.
By the way, LSU lost last night in the 4-5 matchup on the road at Texas, so they've dropped now their 3rd conference game, and Carolina continues to sit in sole possession of first place in the league standings. Again, the game against Tennessee coming up on Sunday at 3. As we get into next week, we're going to talk a lot more about baseball as we are 1 week away from opening day. The weather's kind of going back and forth. It kind of dipped back down into the 50s on the forecast that I looked at a little bit earlier on today, so fingers crossed we have good weather next week. And thankfully, Jack, we're hearing more positive things about the injuries that have popped up here as of late.
Yeah, so there's 3 big ones to talk about. Alex Philpott, right-hand pitcher. So last week there was a little bit of commotion because there were initial reports out there that Philpott was going to be out for the year. He needed to go undergo Tommy John surgery. That's not the case at all. So he's going to be shut down for the next 2 weeks here, and then after that he'll start a 3-week throwing program. And by then, the hope is that he's going to be ready for SEC play, which would be in mid-March against Florida. But there is a possibility he could be ready earlier than that. And then the next big update is KJ Scobie. So I know a lot of people weren't at the scrimmage the other day, but to kind of sum it up, he dove for a ball to his right. And what happened was, as Paul Maneri put it, and this was about 10 minutes after he got the news about Philpott being out for just a little bit, not this whole season, his shoulder popped out as he dove, and then it popped back in. So
that sounds painful.
Yes. So USC caught a kind of big break there because he should probably be ready for opening day. He was fielding ground balls yesterday, 2 days after the injury happened, and then he's going to potentially swing a bat on Saturday. So that would be pretty good for him. And then Bo Hollins is a little bit more of a mystery. Don't anticipate him being ready for opening day, but he was fielding ground balls yesterday. So the next step for him is to hopefully start swinging a bat here soon. So that's really the big thing on the injury front. I don't expect the Gamecocks to have Will Craddock available this weekend. He's been out for the last few scrimmages, and we'll see if he's ready for opening day, but I wouldn't anticipate him starting right now.
Well, and for all these guys, and obviously Jake McCoy's going to be lost for the season, so no hope there, obviously. But all these guys, you kind of look at it and say, okay, can you get back for the Clemson series? Because that's when, I don't want to say the real season starts, but that's where we really start to figure out what this team is. You got Northern Kentucky, you got Wofford. You do have the service academies that'll be coming in and playing in a couple weeks. Those will be a little bit more of a tough test, but really things get gauged by how you do in that series against Clemson, because SEC play starts pretty soon after that. So with Scobie and Hollins, as long as they can be back and healthy by the end of the month taking on Clemson, say, okay, then we're in a good spot.
Yeah, that'll be the big thing there. And then the weekend rotation is going to be Riley Goodman on Friday, Ant Phillips on Saturday. And then the big surprise here, Brandon Stone on Sunday. We'll get more into this throughout next week for sure on like how it's going to look and whatnot. But I was a little surprised when Brandon Stone was announced as the Sunday starter instead of Josh Gunther, who was competing in the rotation. But Paul Maneri gave a pretty decent reason on it, as he feels he could be the first arm out of the bullpen, and this was a guy that was a reliever when he was at Wake Forest. So, yeah.
Yeah, and I was going to bring up Stone the other day, but they seem to be, at the time, seemed to be very convinced that he was going to be coming out of the bullpen.
That's what I thought,
He had his struggles at starting towards the end of last year, so I'm like, okay, maybe he's just kind of a bullpen type of guy. But again, he started before, and maybe they've seen what they like as far as development and improvement in the offseason to trust him to hold the ball again on Sundays now.
Him and Gunther were definitely the two best pitchers here during the preseason, so it's not surprising, but it's like when Paul initially said he was going to be in the bullpen, that's why I think I was a little bit like, like Brandon Stone starting on Sundays, but I can't really blame him, honestly.
Opening day a week from today. They'll take on Northern Kentucky, 4 o'clock over at Founders Park. Again, we'll get into a lot more of this coming up next week. We'll dive back into what Coach Beamer had to say earlier on this week about looking back on this past season and that survey that we talked about from the hype video last week. That's coming up next. It is the Extra Point. It's our head and Jack Veltri on your Friday here on The Game.
Wow, what a play. The Game Network. Columbia, Charleston, Florence, and Myrtle Beach. Gamecock fans, get ready for something new this season. Charleston now has a new station for Carolina sports talk. Dial in to 96.9 The Game on HD3. Head to 96.9 FM and on an HD radio, punch into HD Channel 3. You'll unleash live Carolina coverage you can listen to all day long. New on HD3. It's 96.9 The Game HD3, South Carolina's newest sports station.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet studio. Herndon Chevrolet is your hometown dealer. Stop by today or shop online 24/7 at herndonchevy.com.
Tyrant here for our friends over at Twin Peaks. There's a pretty big football game happening on Sunday. You know what game I'm talking about. And if you're looking around and realizing, I don't have a party to go to and I don't want to sit home and watch the game by myself, you know where the party's going to be happening at. And that's with our friends over at Twin Peaks. They quite literally have TVs everywhere. There's not a place you can go in that restaurant without seeing the big game on TV. So get down there, park yourself on one of the bar stools, order yourself some wings or a burger or whatever you want off their delicious scratch-made menu. And, of course, get yourself one of those 29-degree draft beers, kick your feet up, and take in the big game with all of our friends over at Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, and scenic views, and your destination for the big game coming up this weekend.
Start your spring cleaning early and get an insanely clean home with Zerorez Carpet and Air Duct Cleaning. Take 20% off standard cleaning services when you mention my name, Elijah Campbell, at 107.5 The Game, or book online at ZerorezColumbia.com.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $200-300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash cash back. If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code COIN to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code COIN for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code COIN for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
You never know when a moment might become a memory. With same-day glasses at iMart Express and 2 pairs of single vision starting at under $40 or 2 pairs of progressives for under $80. We're here to make sure you're ready anytime they do. From the most mundane Monday mornings to the most surprising Saturday nights. Get everyday savings for every moment. iMart Express. Get glasses. Go see.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
ZipRecruiter. Powered by Integrated Media. The Game TV. Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass. For auto, home, and commercial glass. ShepherdsGlass.com. In Chapin and West Columbia. The Game TV. Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass. Shepherd's Glass.
The Extra Point.
And the kick is good!
With Tyler Head and Jack Veltri from Gamecock Central. On the Game Network, the 107.5, the Game app, and the Game TV radio on YouTube.
All right, welcome back in. It is the Extra Point. Tyler Head and Jack Veltri along with you here on your Friday on the Game. We'll get into plenty of Super Bowl stuff as the show goes along, including the latest on Nicky Minwori, as some concerns about him from an injury standpoint have cropped up in the past day or so. But we've been talking a lot this week about what Coach Beamer had to say on Wednesday when talking to the media. Again, first time we'd heard from him in about a month to talk about the transfer portal and obviously address things from this past year. And last week, I guess it was when they released that hype video that kind of shows their early workouts and all that kind of stuff. And one of the most interesting points from that video was at the very beginning where Luke Day, strength and conditioning coach, is talking to the team and mentions the survey that they had coming away from last year, where they asked all the players on the team, like, hey, what was wrong? Why did we end up going 4-8? And they listed a number of things like couldn't finish, weren't detailed, and they had the wrong mindset. And on Wednesday, you asked Coach Beamer about that survey, and here's what he had to say.
Yeah, that's one thing that I do every year, Jack, is at the end of the season, I sit down and meet with every player on the team and, ask them, why were we 4-8 the year before? Why were we 9-3? Just feedback so we can constantly improve, issues, things they see in the program where we need to be better. So all that stuff is things that I always discuss and did it this year too. Starting the Monday after the Clemson game, we started having those conversations. But some of that was in that video, but there was a lot, but I think probably the biggest thing that, there were some things that they told me specifically where we needed to be better, but also the other thing, and I don't know who's gonna hate me saying this, they saw how close we were. And again, we're not patting ourselves on the back for going 4-8. Nobody is, but our guys also understood that, every game that we played was a close game going into the fourth quarter. other than what maybe I guess Oklahoma was more than a 2-score lead. But after that, I mean, we were in a dogfight every game in the fourth quarter, and understanding the fine line it is between winning and losing, understanding that how important the details are, understanding how important it is to finish, understanding how important, how one play can affect the game. And not that we haven't already talked about that, not that we weren't trying to instill those lessons throughout the season, but it was very evident to our guys at the end of the year that we were not quite where we need to be, and ultimately that's on me and where we got to be better as we go into 2026.
I think I speak for all of us when I say I really hope we don't have to keep saying we're so close, we're so close, we're so close, because that became nauseating last year. And he's not wrong, because, yeah, they were in a lot of those games in the fourth quarter. It was just a couple of things here and there that they were consistently not doing well that ended up being the difference. And I told Terry this earlier, there is a difference when you have a Beamer saying that in a year following being 9-3 and almost making the playoffs, as opposed to like Lamont Paris, right? Where you've had a couple years in a row where you keep coming close but not getting the job done. Like, we're at more of a shorter end of the rope with that as opposed to football, I would say, because we still have a more recent example of success. But if you get into this year and you're still having those same conversations, yeah, that's not going to fly.
Is we're so close becoming the new as well?
Ooh.
I think, because honestly, he's gotten so much better about not saying as well after like every sentence. Like, I think he took that to heart, and he's gotten so much better about. But I think there is something now to fill the gap, which is we're so close.
It's funny. Was it Cox by 90 that was keeping the count on Twitter?
No, it was some other
one of those accounts.
One of those burners.
Well, because remember, he used to do really a lot. He used to say really, 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 and that was the thing. Then he did the as well, and that was a thing. And we know Beamer pays attention and reads tweets and all that kind of stuff. So if you make him aware that he's doing something, then he changes it. So maybe the we're so close, as again he acknowledged, I know y'all don't want to hear this a moment ago, maybe that's the new thing that he's trying to stop himself from doing. And it would be really easy if they started closing out games where he wouldn't have to keep saying that.
Yeah, no, you're totally right about that. You're hoping that this is the year that they do win those close games in the fourth quarter, because here's the thing. There's inevitably going to be a handful of games this year, whether South Carolina's winning or losing, that are a one-score game going into the fourth quarter. It's just a matter of whether they are playing from behind or ahead. Can they finish? That's probably of the list of things that went wrong for this team last year. I gotta say it's that more than anything, that they never really finished in these games. Besides the games they won, they just never got it done down the stretch, and that's a big concern when you can't play well. This was a team that is always, for the most part, played very well in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
They've closed out a ton of games, but last year was just not like that at all.
And again, going back to the video last week where Luke Day was addressing the team and bringing to light this survey that they had at the end of last year, finishing games can also come down to conditioning. And I go back to after the 23 season, which wasn't great. They go 5-7 and miss a bowl game. Remember, South Carolina drastically altered a lot of what they did from a conditioning standpoint in reference to the injuries that they suffered that year. So do you go back to the drawing board and say, okay, what can we do in the offseason from a physical workout standpoint that maybe puts us in better positions to finish games? I don't know what that is. I'm not an expert when it comes to kinesiology or anything like that, but I imagine they've probably made some changes in what they're doing with those workouts to potentially put themselves in a better spot late in games.
Yeah, you would hope so, because it's a long season, man. It's only 12 games, but it is a long, hard season, and the wear and tear teams take and South Carolina is no exception to that from an injury standpoint. So, yeah, you really need to be in your best shape. Like, that's why the fourth quarter's preached so much, is that's what you work for all year, is to be able to finish in those moments. And South Carolina has been good before at them. So that's at least a silver lining, is that you're just hoping that last year was a one-off type of year where the Gamecocks just never really seemed to be able to close out a game in the fourth quarter. And when you have a lead, a la Texas A&M, you got to be able to keep your foot on the gas and not let up, because that's That's the other thing I think this team probably learned from last year is no lead is safe against any team.
Well, and going back to what we've said a lot, that Beamer has done a lot of what we deem to be positive things in this offseason so far, where he's addressed just about everything that seemed to plague the team from a season ago. Offensive line was bad. You fired Lonnie Teasley. You brought a new offensive line coach and completely flipped that room over. From a talent standpoint, offense was bad. You fire Mike Shula. You bring in a Kendall Briles, and they've gone out there and acquired a lot of talent at some of the skill position spots to hopefully make that room better. Running back was an issue last year. You moved on from Markel Blackwell. You bring in Deion Barnes, and you brought in some more talent in the running back room. Now, again, they have to go out there and actually do it, but in terms of what we're going to be talking about for the next handful of months leading up to the season, you've addressed just about all the areas that concerned us from last year.
No, you certainly have. Again, they've done a great job this offseason, as we've said many times before, of filling the needs on this roster. Like, they are a much better football team now than they were after Thanksgiving against Clemson. I think that is simply the case, and now it's just about how does it translate over to the real games where all these additions you made are hopefully going to make a drastic impact. That remains to be seen, but at least on paper, things are looking really good right now.
What does Coach Beamer think about Indiana and them climbing to the top of college football with a national championship a couple weeks ago? We'll get into that coming up next as the Extra Point continues on. Tyler Head and Jack Veltri on your Friday on the Game.
This hour of in-show listening on 107.5 The Game is sponsored by QC Kinetics in West Columbia, the non-surgical regenerative orthopedic specialists of the Midlands. Request your consultation today at qckinetics.com.
All my sports. The Game Network. 107.5 The Game in Columbia. 96.9 The Game in Charleston. 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach. And 100.5 The Game in Florence.
If you are a small business owner, a church, or other entity in need of a new HVAC system, AAA Heating and Air has exciting news for you. AAA now offers financing to qualified organizations to aid them in installing a new light commercial HVAC system. It's as easy as calling AAA Heating and Air for a quote or finding them online at callAAAtoday.com. Tell them Jack from 107.5 The Game sent you. At AAA Heating and Air, they've got your back. They're offering up to 12-month payment plans on repairs with no credit check. That's right. No need to worry about your credit score. As long as you're a homeowner with a valid bank account, you'll be good to go. Take control of your comfort today and give AAA Heating and Air a call at 803-677-1500. Again, that is 803-677-1500. Give them a call today and breathe easy again.
It's a new year, Columbia, so why not stop painting year after year and do what Josh did? He called Rhino Shield.
We have a cedar-sided home at the end of the woods, painted like 1980s beige. We wanted something that was more of a mid-century and modern look. We were driving around and we saw a sign in somebody's yard that said Rhino Shield. It's not paint.
It's not paint. It's better.
We gave Rhino Shield a call, and they were fantastic with the arrangement on schedule. The 25-year guarantee was important to us. This is our forever home, and we want to make sure that whatever we're doing is going to last a long time.
Columbia, get the guaranteed protection of Rhino Shield now for 15% off the regular price.
I'd say if you're thinking about Rhino Shield, just do it. It's been 2 years now, and it still looks like the day it went on.
Here's owner Dan Hoey.
This offer's limited, so call today at 833-RHINO-99 or visit RhinoShieldCarolina.com. Don't paint.
Don't vinyl. Go Rhino.
Don't paint. Don't vinyl. Go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Hi, I'm Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, America's largest family law firm. During this time of year, difficult relationships sometimes become impossible. If you or someone you care about is facing a family law issue, let us set up a 1-hour Cordell Consult. The Cordell Consult is a meeting with a local attorney who will give you clear guidance about your options, whether it's a separation, a postnuptial agreement, divorce, or custody. CordellCordell.com.
1201 Main Street, Columbia.
Don't let a plumbing problem turn your home into a disaster zone. The local plumbing experts, On Call Plumbing, Heating, and Air is ready to tackle everything from a pesky drip to a major pipe burst. With 24-hour service, no hidden fees, no surprises. 803-781-HELP or OnCallSC.com.
On Call Plumbing, Heating,
781-HELP. Finding excuses to not do your taxes? Unsure where to start? Sounds like you may be suffering from FOMO, the fear of messing up. The cure? Filing your federal and state taxes for free using TurboTax on Credit Karma. All you have to do is start and finish filing on your own in the Credit Karma app by February 28th. Just keep in mind, this offer is available only if you didn't file with TurboTax last year. It's time to break free from your fear of messing up. Start filing for free today in the Credit Karma app.
Summer in Daniel Island just got hotter. Tim McGraw, the Pawn Shop Guitar Tour. Get lost in the songs you love to sing. Tim McGraw. Credit One Stadium, Saturday, August 8th.
I went skydiving.
Get ready for a summer show you don't want to miss. Tickets on sale this Friday at 10 a.m. at LiveNation.com.
Powered by Integrated Media. The Game TV. Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass. For auto, home, and commercial glass. ShepherdsGlass.com. In Chapin and West Columbia. The Game TV. Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass. Shepherd's Glass.
The Extra Point.
And the kick is good!
With Tyler Head and Jack Veltri from Gamecock Central on the Game Network, the 107.5 The Game app, and at the Game TV radio on YouTube.
All right, welcome back in. Extra Point. Tyler Head and Jack Veltri with you here on your Friday on the Game. Again, hour number 2, we'll get into plenty of Super Bowl stuff. Talk with the guy, Corey Parson of the BetMGM Network. Take a look at the latest lines, odds, and some pretty fun Super Bowl prop bets as well ahead of Sunday's big game. But we're continuing to go over what Coach Beamer had to say the other day when speaking to the media, and as has been the hot topic of conversation in college football, Indiana setting the standard for programs that maybe have not had a ton of success in their history, ascending the mountaintop of the college football world. And here's Coach Beamer's thoughts on what Indiana did a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, and I've talked about it before, Jack, that to me the best teams are the oldest teams. I've used the example with teams in the SEC. You look at Vanderbilt last season and look at the number of juniors and seniors they had playing, starting for them. You look at, I think, Missouri defensively. You look at Alabama defensively. There were a lot of teams last year. You look across the country, they were really good. They were talented, don't get me wrong. They're well coached, but they were older. And, you want to bring in talented players, don't get me wrong. Doesn't matter how old. There's a lot of older people in this room. I don't think we're going to go out and compete for an SEC championship, myself included, just because we're older. But that's definitely an aspect of it. And I was just meeting with some of the older guys on our team this morning and talking about that I knew, and I've said this before to you guys, I knew we were going to be better in 2024 than people thought on the outside because we had so much veteran leadership, older guys coming back. And it's certainly something that we always want to do. And there's no question about it. We've definitely gotten older. I mean, you look at the people that we signed in the portal. They're not just older guys, but they've got a lot of production. They've played a lot of football. They have a ton of experience. They've been through battles, and we didn't have enough of that last year. We've certainly increased that and wanted to be very aggressive in trying to get not just older guys, but certainly production. And we've definitely gotten older. There's a different feel, and still young in a lot of positions. Don't get me wrong, but there's a lot of guys here right now that have played a lot of football.
So when you look at, the blueprint that Indiana has laid out there, and we've talked about it plenty as Coach Beamer went over there, older team, they didn't spend the most in the transfer portal, but they were efficient in what they spent, and they ended up on top. And obviously have a really good coach in Cignetti that helped them, get that done. And I look at what Beamer's done in the offseason so far. They went out there and they got older. They got a lot of experience coming in. Now, again, not all those guys are going to go out there and be significant contributors, but you're going to have a very veteran-laden roster coming up this year. I brought up the stat yesterday on dogstats.com. They had South Carolina, just on the offensive line, having the most returning snaps of any team in the country in that one position group, which is obviously an area that you need to improve on quite a bit. And nobody's going to accuse South Carolina of being the biggest spender in the transfer portal, much like Indiana. But did you spend your money effectively? Did you spend it smartly? Did you get the most bang for your buck? Obviously, we'll have to wait and see, but we look at what they've brought in so far, and we feel pretty good about it.
That's the main thing that you bring up there right at the end is it's not so much about how much money you have. Of course, you need money to get the players that you want to get, and I'm sure South Carolina spent a pretty penny on certain players for sure, but it's how you spend the money that matters, and we're going to see how effective they are at spending their money and using their resources to their advantage when the season begins here, and we'll see how those players pan out. Now, it's hard to imagine every single player would be a home run pickup, but it's certainly possible. We always go back to 2 years ago when South Carolina had a really good portal cycle, landed some significant contributors that are now in the NFL doing their thing. And I think that should be the expectation here for this group is you should have at least, hopefully by the time the season ends, we're talking about 4 or 5 different contributors, real contributors that made the jump from being just a guy to come in to we're talking about them being picked in next year's NFL draft as a highly sought after guy. So that's the type of impact you want to see South Carolina get from guys. But overall, you want to have a really good portal class, and I think that could ultimately make the big difference in what we see on this field next year.
The biggest question and the biggest difference comes in the head coach, right? Like Curt Cignetti legitimately is being looked at as one of the best coaches in college football and still has a lot left to go in terms of what he's going to accomplish and maybe more national championships and all that kind of stuff. And this isn't a slight at Shane, but the results aren't comparable to what Curt Cignetti's done. So you have a difference in who the head coach is here. Now, how much of a difference that makes, we'll have to see. Because, again, we've seen Beamer teams be able to be really successful and exceed expectations. And, again, we're not setting the bar for South Carolina. Oh, you got to go out there and win a national championship this upcoming year. Like, no, if you make the playoff, that is better than any other team in the history this program's ever done, or whatever comes after that. But we just want this team to get back to being competitive towards the top of the SEC. We do more than make a bowl game, obviously, but that is one of the lower bars you definitely need to clear this upcoming year. But, okay, Beamer is a head coach, because now that we're going into year number 6 of the Beamer era, you kind of know what he is as a head coach, right? Coaches don't suddenly get drastically better or don't necessarily get drastically worse. You kind of got an idea of what he is as a head coach. How can you take what he is as a head coach with the talent around that he's created and the staff around him and make this team better is the question we're going to have to answer this offseason.
Very much so. And it's going to be, the decision-making in season is going to have to be good. You're hoping the play calling is a lot better. I think that's something we haven't talked about a ton, is that Kendall Briles is here, and we need to see. You need to see him have a big impact. I mean, it's one of the problems for South Carolina last year that probably wasn't mentioned in that video was the offensive play calling, and it was a real issue for this team last year when they couldn't score points consistently at all until they got rid of Mike Shula, and then Mike Furry takes over the play calling duties, and it's better, but still not good enough. And you're hoping Kendall Briles can unlock something in Lenore's cellars that hasn't been unlocked yet. And from there, you're hoping the offense around him can put up a lot of points this year.
Yeah, we'll certainly have to see. Again, as we talk about a lot with Indiana, there's a lot of coaches and a lot of programs that are feeling more pressure than ever because of what Indiana accomplished, right? That was a program that was historically the most losing program at the Power 4 level, and they just came in and completely passed everybody by in a 2-year window. So we already knew this was going to be a very important and very pressure-filled year from Coach Beamer, but I think when you look at the Indiana model that everybody's going to be comparing South Carolina and programs like it to, that just increases that pressure, and Beamer's aware of that. He knows that. And he knows that he was already under enough pressure going into the season anyway, but having to answer the questions constantly of why Indiana could do it and why can't you, that just adds more fuel to the fire.
It definitely does. This is going to be a season, at least at the start, that is filled with pressure, and it's really going to be up to South Carolina to kind of shut that narrative down. Now, I kind of wonder how does it look if South Carolina does start the season out 3-0? Do you have a lot of people that are like, realistically, like, I think for me, I'm kind of like, okay, I'm still in wait and see mode because you beat two teams you're supposed to beat, and then you beat the worst team in the SEC, like, or one of the worst teams in the SEC over the last few years in Mississippi State. You should be 3-0 heading into Alabama. Like, that should be the expectation. But I think some people are going to probably take that and be like, okay, off to a good start and go from there.
The Alabama game will set the tone for everything, right? And again, you look at Alabama and say, okay, it's a tough game, and it's on the road at that too. You've had Kalen DeBoer's team on the ropes in the past 2 years. You've had the ability to win both those games, once with a really good team in 2024 and once with a not-so-good team this past year. So the whole, they're Alabama, that excuse isn't going to fly anymore. You've shown the ability to almost beat them. This is the year where, in a lot of people's minds, you have to go out there and get it done. And the way that game goes down, I think, sets everybody's expectations for the final 8 games of the season at that point.
Absolutely. If you're 4-0 at that point, you're probably going to be 5-0 because Kentucky's going to be a different team, I think. But I think South Carolina should be able to beat them at home. You're talking about potentially being 5. Like, we talked about what this team could do if they were 5-0 this past season at the beginning of the year, because I think a lot of people, including myself, thought at least 4-1 or 5-0. That didn't happen. But you're looking at this upcoming team. If they are able to get off to that really good start that they need and go through that first month unscathed, who knows what can happen, quite honestly.
It's always going to be a challenge in the SEC each and every year. Speaking of the conference, by the way, Greg Sankey has finally broken his silence on some of the controversial things that have been going on in the league these past couple of weeks. We'll let you know what he had to say about one very important one coming up next as we wrap up hour number 1. It is the Extra Point. Tyler Head and Jack Veltri on your Friday on the Game.
Wow, what a play. The Game Network. Columbia, Charleston, Florence, and Myrtle Beach.
The Game phone lines at 803-404-6100. Sponsored by AAA Heating and Air. Now offering 12-month payment plans on all HVAC or electrical repairs with no credit check. Online at callAAAtoday.com.
This is a Westwood One Sports Minute.
Sponsored by Robinhood. Your money, your move. The 2026 National Football League Hall of Fame class is set, and Drew Brees headlines it alongside Roger Craig, Larry Fitzgerald, Luke Kuechly, and Adam Vinatieri. But still glaring, the absence of Bill Belichick, who should have been a first-ballot Hall of Famer. I'm Drake Toll.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Charlie's battery is struggling to start. Not ideal before the tailgate, so he goes to AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone,
where a friendly AutoZoner tests his battery for free. Looks like he needs a new one, so he gets a Duralast battery.
have fun and stay warm.
And he makes it to the tailgate early enough to get his favorite spot. Free battery testing and charging. No hassles, just help.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
This new year, get started on your next success with University of Maryland Global Campus. Apply now and save with no application fee. Classes start February 11th. An accredited state university, UMGC offers online and hybrid classes while giving you a head start on 2026. Earn up to 90 credits toward a bachelor's for prior learning and experience, or transfer up to 12 credits toward a master's. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
This Valentine's Day, celebrate the one you love the most with Hallmark cards at Walgreens. Valentine's Day is the best time to send your favorite person a reminder of just how much they mean to you. A Hallmark card is a super simple and beautiful way to say how grateful you are for the love you two share. Don't forget, Valentine's Day is Saturday, February 14th. Visit Walgreens today to find a Hallmark card that shows just how much you care for them, because love lives here.
Kohl's gets it. Valentine's Day comes with expectations, grand expectations, telepathic expectations, and heart-shaped everything expectations. Yes, even waffles. Kohl's has gifts that rise to the occasion, from romantic to playful, sparkly to sweet, or all of the above. Plus, get 15% off some of your finds. So go ahead, exceed those Valentine's Day expectations with Kohl's. Select styles, offer ends February 16th. Some exclusions apply. See store or kohls.com for details.
This Valentine's Day, celebrate the one you love the most with Hallmark cards at Walgreens. Valentine's Day is the best time to send your favorite person a reminder of just how much they mean to you. A Hallmark card is a super simple and beautiful way to say how grateful you are for the love you two share. Don't forget, Valentine's Day is Saturday, February 14th. Visit Walgreens today to find a Hallmark card that shows just how much you care for them, because love lives here.
Kohl's gets it. Valentine's Day comes with expectations, grand expectations, telepathic expectations, and heart-shaped everything expectations. Yes, even waffles. Kohl's has gifts that rise to the occasion, from romantic to playful, sparkly to sweet, or all of the above. Plus, get 15% off some of your finds. So go ahead, exceed those Valentine's Day expectations with Kohl's. Select styles. Offer ends February 16th. Some exclusions apply. See store Kohls.com for details.
The Extra Point.
And the kick is good!
With Tyler Head and Jack Beltry from Gamecock Central. On the Game Network, the 107.5, the Game app, and the Game TV radio on YouTube.
Give me fuel, give me fire, give me that which I desire. Ooh. Welcome back in. It is the Extra Point. Tyler Head, Jack Beltry with you on your Friday on the Game, wrapping up hour number 1. Again, we'll spend the next hour on all Super Bowl things. Talk to Corey Parson, take a look at some of the matchups in this game, and also talk about the fun stuff too, halftime show, food, all those kind of things. So that's coming up in hour number 2. But as we wrap up hour number 1, we asked the question the other day. You know, there's been this controversy in the SEC in the past couple weeks with the Ole Miss tampering situation with Clemson, the Charles Bediako case going on with Alabama. Where's Greg Sankey been? Why hasn't Greg Sankey said anything about these two things that are at the forefront of conversation across college sports? Well, finally broke his silence. Greg Sankey, in court documents, gave his statement on the Charles Bediako situation, where he said, "I respectfully ask the court to uphold the NCAA eligibility rules challenged in this case, which are essential to the integrity of college sports, to the educational mission they serve, and the opportunities they provide for current and future student athletes." I'll be honest with you, I was very surprised by this, because Greg Sankey's job is to look out for the betterment of the SEC. And if that means putting the SEC at an advantage over other conferences, typically you would think he's going to go that route. But here, he's siding with the NCAA, saying, hey, this is kind of ridiculous that this guy was quite literally in the NBA. I know he wasn't on the main roster, but still in the G League, had signed multiple contracts as a part of the NBA system, and now he's just suddenly back in college again. Like, very surprised, but good on you, Greg Sankey.
Yeah, I don't think it's I kind of think it's fine what Greg said. I kind of, it's the right thing to say in this situation, regardless of if he's an SEC guy or not, Bediako, which, of course, he plays for Alabama. So it might be a little bit surprising from that standpoint. But, look, I think we're all kind of in favor of what Greg is saying here, in that there should not be these professional athletes from the G League or the NBA. I know we got the whole situation with Amari Bailey going on right now, who's actually played in NBA games, trying to come back to college basketball, which is a complete issue here. But it's the same thing with Bediako. This is a sport meant for 18, 19, 20-year-old, 21-year-olds, right? You play your 4 years in college, and that's it. This guy decided, he played college basketball, then he willingly decided to declare for the NBA draft, did not get drafted, and he's been to the G League. That's his fault. If he must be getting bad advice from somewhere, if he decided to initially leave and now he's got remorse and wanting to come back to college. That should not be how it works. Like, once you declare for the NBA, that's it. Like, that should be the fine drawn line here, is you're a professional, and you could say that you're a professional at the college level now too, because you're getting paid like a pro. But I think it's different because he's also 23 years old. It's just I'm surprised he's been able to play for this long with but I know he's the TRO. But I don't really fault Sankey for feeling this way, even if it's not him coming out here defending his league.
I listened to Lamont Paris last night on Carolina Calls, too, and I thought he brought up an interesting point when he was asked about this, that, you know, if you continue to go down this route, if the court rules in favor of Bediako and allows, you know, his eligibility to continue at the college level, then you're putting at risk, you know, the value of freshmen in the college game. And that's something that Coach Paris expanded on a little bit of the value of having freshman players in the college game last night on Carolina Calls.
The value of them, I'll say this, okay? And the reason I love doing this job above all else, above all things, it's not even close, I don't even know what second would be, is my ability to impact young people in their worldview, their mission to improve their basketball game. That is the main reason I love doing my job. And you can do that more with young people versus older guys. You just can. I believe in young people still. I do. Selfishly, I enjoy helping them improve. That's my favorite thing. So it would be bad for me personally that kind of growth and interaction disappears from the game of college basketball.
Because he expanded on a little bit before that if you're in a situation where you're looking to fill roster holes, well, instead of going out there and signing a 17, 18-year-old kid as a freshman, if you have the ability to just go pick and choose from the NBA's G League, well, wouldn't you do that? Because those guys are a lot more experienced. And again, it's kind of a crossroads in a lot of ways for not only college basketball, but college sports as a whole in terms of where the talent comes from, how teams build their rosters, and all that kind of stuff. And I think we're all anxious to see what the court ends up ruling in reference to Charles Bediako. Now, again, what Sankey says is not the end-all, be-all. It's just his opinion, and that can influence what happens in court at the end of the day. But it's ultimately up to the court ruling to decide if Bediako is going to be able to continue to play for the rest of the season. Alabama did win the other night against Texas A&M. They're now 2-2 with Bediako since returning, beating Texas A&M and Buckyball the other night. But yeah, definitely going to keep an eye on that. Again, he's got the second TRO that's extended this out a little bit, but that court decision coming here very, very soon. I believe next week is when all that comes to a head, and we'll see what the ruling ultimately is. Again, a lot of Super Bowl talk coming up in hour number 2. We'll dive into the specifics of the matchup, talk some Nicky Imamori, and also look at the odds and some of the prop bets as well for the Super Bowl coming up on Sunday. That'll do it for hour number 1 of the Extra Point. Hour number 2 on the way next here in the game.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet studio. Herndon Chevrolet is your hometown dealer. Stop by today or shop online 24/7 at HerndonChevy.com.
This time of year, the weather can change dramatically. You need reliable heat to keep your family safe and comfortable. Trust the experts at On-Call Plumbing, Heating, and Air. They have trained technicians, not trained salespeople. As a locally owned and operated company, you can count on them to be there when you need them. Download the On-Call app for a convenient way to set up service. Visit OnCallSC.com or call 803-781-HELP.
On-Call Plumbing, Heating, and Air. Pick up the phone and we'll be right there. Call 781-HELP.
We are the South Carolina Forestry Commission.
We work to prevent and suppress wildfires statewide.
We help recruit forest products industries to South Carolina.
We work with landowners to help them manage their forest land.
We teach environmental education. The work we do supports the responsible and sustainable growth of the state's woodlands, the industries that use them, and the way of life their bounty supports.
South Carolina Forest. They'll grow on you.
Sponsored by the South Carolina Forestry Commission, South Carolina Broadcasters Association, and this station.
Want to hear a shocking statistic? Medical malpractice is the 3rd leading cause of death in America. Don't believe it? Google it. And that doesn't count serious injuries like birth injuries to perfectly healthy children. All doctors wear white jackets, but it doesn't make them all the same. Most medical errors are committed by the same quacks over and over again. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Many hospitals looking for more profits are forcing doctors and their groups to be employees of the hospital or be forced out of their system. It's a troubling trend in medicine. People make mistakes, but medical mistakes are huge and often forever. If you believe your child suffered a birth injury or a misdiagnosis or mistake led to a loved one's death or injury, let our team of medical malpractice lawyers examine your case for free. No recovery, no fee. Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com.
Joe Standifer, Esquire, 11915 Plaza Drive, Suite 301, Burroughs Inlet, South Carolina, 29576.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code COIN to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code COIN for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code COIN for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Hey, this is Paul Romanstein, proud owner of Midlands Landscape and Lawns. Good news, we now have a retail location, 1612 North Lake Drive in Lexington, near the dam. Come by and see us, and we can help you now with a do-it-yourself, or we can do it for you. We offer mulch, pine straw, rock, palm trees, you name it, we got it. If you've got a project that you need help with supplies, come see us. If you got a project that you need us to do for you, check us out at midlandslandscape.com.
This Valentine's Day, give her more than a gift. Give her a moment she'll never forget. At Traditions Fine Jewelers, when you purchase any size diamond flex bangle or any diamond hoop earring over 1 carat or diamond tennis necklace, you'll receive a free 1 carat diamond pendant set in yellow or white gold. A certified 1 carat diamond, and she takes it home the same day. A beautiful surprise she wasn't expecting. But don't wait, quantities are limited, and once the pendants are gone, they're gone. Make this Valentine's Day unforgettable at Traditions Fine Jewelers in Sandhills or in Lexington with a free 1 carat diamond pendant.
Your home for the Gamecocks. 107.5 The Game. WNKT Eastover, Columbia. A Cumulus media station.
Oh, yeah.
The Extra Point with Tyler Head.
And the kick is good.
Call or text 803-404-6100 on the Game Network.
Welcome back in. Hour number 2. It is the Extra Point. Tyler Head along with you here on your Friday on the Game, as we're going to talk all things Super Bowl in this hour. Getting you set for the big game coming up on Sunday between the Patriots and the Seahawks. Kickoff 6:30. You can watch it, of course, on NBC. And with the Super Bowl every single year, the interest in lines and props and all that kind of stuff really goes through the roof, as everybody wants to know what the numbers say, and that's where we bring in our guy from the BetMGM Network, Corey Parson, to run the numbers as we do each and every Friday. Corey, appreciate the time as always. I know we're all excited to, unfortunately, see the football season come to an end, but it looks like we got a good one on tap for Sunday.
Yep, definitely. Like you said, unfortunate to see it come to an end, and this is right here is the grand finale, the biggest wagering event on the calendar any day of the year. Obviously, we know what comes along with it. A lot of stuff to get into, a lot of stuff to break down as far as the game goes. And then we got the outside interest, too, for the casual fan. So last chance when it comes to football to make some money this year. So hopefully we got you set up pretty good, and let's see what we got for Super Bowl Sunday.
I'm going to throw some fun pop culture stuff at you at the end here, but we'll dive into the actual game itself. I know when we talked last week, I believe Seattle was the 3.5-point favorite, if I remember correctly. That is now bumped up to 4.5 points going into Sunday.
Well, it opened up at 5, actually, Tyler. Got immediately bet down to 4.5, and it's kind of held steady at that 4.5 throughout the course of the week. So seeing a lot of public action come in on the New England Patriots at that 4.5 number, yet still I would not be surprised if we see a 5 sometime during the next couple of days before kickoff. Looks like this number could be headed to the Seahawks as a 5-point favorite, but you got a little bit of sharp action on both sides. So, you know, I can say all the time, Vegas is no longer the sports betting capital of the world, but still you're going to see the sharps in Vegas kind of dictate what happens and where this number ends up at.
Well, it's an interesting dynamic because you look at the Patriots, they have a more experienced head coach in Vrabel that had taken the Titans to the postseason in years past. Drake May was the runner-up for MVP, and despite Mike Macdonald being a younger head coach and Darnold having never been in the playoffs before, both those guys have really flexed their muscle in this postseason where there's a lot of confidence in both of their abilities going into their first ever appearance in the Super Bowl, in addition to all the other things that Seattle does well offensively, defensively, and on special teams that I think overwhelmingly gives a lot of people, in a lot of people's minds, gives them the advantage going into Sunday.
Yeah, definitely. They're going to have the advantage. They're a clear favorite in this spot right here. Mike Macdonald coming over and just taking over from a legend and possible Hall of Famer. But then again, we don't know when it comes to the Hall of Fame and coaches.
Sure.
But, you know, taking over for Pete Carroll, who's won a Super Bowl, and then he comes right in there, gets his program going, and now here they are in the Super Bowl favorites in his second year as a head coach. So definitely an excellent hire by him. And when you're talking about winning the game outright, you do see a lot of the sharper action on the Seattle Seahawks money line. On the point spread, though, you see a lot of the sharper action coming in on the New England Patriots at that 4.5 right there. So it looks like this is going to be a game that's probably going to come down to the 2-minute warning. Will still be, you know, the result will still be intact, which, you know, kind of has led me to think about a certain number of different ways that I'm going to want to approach this contest.
Well, and also in a game like this, a lot of people look at the first half lines as well, which Seahawks favored as 3.5 going into the break. And look, first half scores are nearly impossible to predict, especially in a game like this that could be as tight as it is. But if you want to get in on that action, you have the opportunity to take Seattle or the Patriots at that 3.5 line going into the break.
Yeah, at halftime, that first half point spread, giving it to Seattle with the hook is very interesting right there. So, you know, you look at Seattle, probably you would say has the better offensive team, the way they've run the ball with Kenneth Walker and, watching the NFL honors, obviously you saw the kind of season that JSN, Jackson Smith, and Jigba has had. But he's going to have a tough matchup. I'm not sure if Christian Gonzalez is going to follow him or not, but you probably can imagine he will, JSN, see a lot of Christian Gonzalez. JSN obviously projects to be a very high number fantasy pick when you get to fantasy next year. So him and Puka Nacua really showed themselves as two of the best receivers in the league this year. But that's why the name that keeps coming up in the MVP conversation, the anytime touchdown conversation, the first touchdown conversation is Cooper Kupp. A lot of people expect for Cooper Kupp to have a big game. So that 3.5 at the half seems kind of high. If I was to wager on that, I would take the Patriots with the 3.5. But, it's other options on offense for the Seahawks as well. That's probably why that number is set at 3.5, with them laying past the hook to end the first half.
Again, we're running the numbers with Corey Parson of the BetMGM. Now we're looking ahead to the Super Bowl coming up on Sunday, and we'll talk about that MVP race now. And Cooper Kupp, a former MVP from his time with the Rams a couple years ago, and he is one of the rare exceptions we see in today's age of the NFL where a non-quarterback wins the award. Julian Edelman won it the last time the Patriots won the Super Bowl back in 2019, in Atlanta. And when you look at the odds, Sam Darnold, Drake May, the overwhelming favorites, but you do have Jackson Smith and Jigba and Kenneth Walker at 5-1 and 7-1 odds to win the MVP themselves.
Yeah, I would look at those quarterbacks. If you like the Seahawks to win the game, I would look at Sam Darnold. But I don't know. I think it's going to be tough for JSN or Ken Walker to win that award. So I would definitely, right now, latest number I've seen is 14-1 for Cooper Kupp to win the MVP. And like on Super Bowl Sunday, is you want to try to get as many plus money just under your belt as you possibly can, because if you hit one of them, you can end up, on the positive side in the last football game of the year. So Kupp is my MVP guy right now, to be honest with you. And it also could come on the defensive end of the ball. You know, you never know. Our guy, Nick Emmanwori, you know, he has longer shot odds, but you never know. A critical interception and a big point in the game, and there you go. You got a Gamecock winning the Super Bowl MVP.
Yeah, we haven't had a defensive MVP since Von Miller back in 2016. A real quick trivia question. Can you tell me the last time a running back won MVP of the Super Bowl?
I would imagine the last running back to win. I know we should have won. Now, I'll tell you this. Devontae Freeman would have won the MVP if 28-3 didn't happen. He was having a fantastic game.
Yep.
But I would imagine it was Timmy Smith for the Washington Redskins.
Terrell Davis, actually, back in 1998 for the Broncos.
Terrell Davis. I should have got that. Probably Terrell Davis, Emmitt Smith. No, Emmitt Smith, no. I don't believe Emmitt Smith ever won it. No, he did. So Terrell Davis, Emmitt Smith, and then Timmy Smith way back in the golden era of the Washington Redskins.
Yeah. So back in the 90s, you actually had three. You had Otis Anderson with the Giants, you had Emmitt Smith, and then you had Terrell Davis, all three winning the award as running backs, but it hasn't been done since then. So it tells you how rarefied air it would be if Kenneth Walker would be able to get it done, but especially when you look at the fact that you haven't had Zach Charbonnet these past couple games, won't have him again on Sunday. Kenneth Walker's been toting the rock for most of the carries in the backfield for the Seahawks since then.
The strength of the Patriots' defense is their ability to stop the run. Gonzalez is probably the top player on their defense, but it's very difficult to run the ball against the Patriots. They're going to have to go to the air, and I keep going back to that name, Cooper Kupp.
Yep. Yeah, so we'll see. We'll see how that factors in, and going to be fun to watch. Let's have some fun here. Let's look at some of the props for the Super Bowl this week, and of course we got the usual stuff, and I think we touched on it a little bit last week. You have the national anthem and how long that goes. Looks like most lines kind of set that at about 150 seconds, which would just be a tick over 2 minutes. Again, kind of getting that 2.5 minute range, and depending on the flow of the song, and I think it starts as soon as they speak the first word, right? It's not when the melody starts. It's once they actually start singing to when they're finally done, and the home of the brave. Like that's what we're measuring this on.
Yeah, obviously it's been people that track this and break this down. The under normally comes in on this one right here, but to me it's such a wild card. I kind of stay away from that one right there because you never know. Somebody wants to, this is a humongous audience. Whoever sings the national anthem, I don't even know who the person is going to be. To be honest with you,
it's Charlie
It's going to be the biggest. It's going to be the biggest audience he's ever had.
Yeah, obviously the Gatorade bet is always one that people look at. Orange, the overwhelming favorite, more often than not, and once again leading the way here. That's one, like, for me. I don't know if I'd touch that one. Now, you do have, I guess, a better opportunity to get intel on something like that because, it is people on the sidelines that mix the Gatorade before the games, equipment managers. But if too many people get intel on that, Vegas can flag this and be like, hey, wait a minute, we're getting too much money coming in on, blue or something like that. Something's going on here.
Yeah, definitely. They obviously want to be on the lookout for something like that. I told a story about me having known somebody that was at actual performance rehearsal a couple years ago when Dr. Dre was the performer, and I got intel on the color of Snoop Dogg's footwear, and that was able to basically, take me home right there. I didn't even really need the result of the game. And I think I may have hit the first touchdown in that game, too, as well, so had a pretty good showing in that one. So, but the Gatorade thing, it's like you said, Vegas will definitely flag that if too much money starts coming in one direction.
Correction, it's actually green-yellow that is the leader on what I'm looking at here. But let's hit some of these other pop culture ones because, again, you got a lot of celebrities hanging out there that'll be at the game on Sunday, including Cardi B, who, of course, is dating Stefon Diggs. And these options are only available in Canada, by the way. We have on-screen appearances for Cardi B with the line set at 1.5.
1.5 is interesting. I would take the under on 1.5. I think you get over that number if the Patriots win the game. Then it can be an on-field celebration. But that could be in the post-game show, not a part of the broadcast. So you really got to read how the wager is worded.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned post-game because there's also one. Will Stefon Diggs propose to Cardi B after the game, assuming the Patriots would win? No is the overwhelming favorite on that one, though.
I would put my mortgage on no.
Probably. There was the same thing last year with.
If you know, like I know.
Yeah. Well, there was the same thing last year with Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift. Now the Chiefs didn't end up winning the game, but I still would have ventured towards that probably wasn't going to happen in the Super Bowl postgame.
Yeah, exactly. That probably would never happen. But anyway, good luck to them.
Final one here, of course, Bad Bunny is going to be the halftime performer. But as always, you get guests that pop up during the halftime show. In order here, the odds for surprise guest, Cardi B, she'll already be there, J Balvin, Jennifer Lopez, and Ricky Martin, all the favorites to potentially pop up on stage during the halftime show.
Yeah, I'd be 100% honest with you. I didn't hear about Bad Bunny until they announced him as the Super Bowl performer. Now, I know he's very popular in some circles, but this would be a year where I probably would be, tuning out during the halftime show. Seen some other wagers about the halftime performance and, things that could go down, but I'm just not a Bad Bunny guy.
Yeah, and I know a lot of his songs aren't in English, so maybe not everybody here is as familiar with him. I think he's the most streamed artist in the world, if I remember correctly.
Really?
But that's also why you bring in the guest as well that, can satisfy different segments of the audience. Like, again, Kendrick Lamar had a bunch of... maybe Jennifer. Yeah, I would vote for Jennifer Lopez personally if I'm going to go with one myself. But Kendrick Lamar had his guest last year and all that kind of stuff. So I don't know. We'll see. Should be interesting. You got a favorite brand looking forward to commercial wise for Sunday?
Obviously, you have, not necessarily the soft drink commercials normally do a good job. Obviously, the tech companies, they have really been stepping their game up recently. So don't really have a favorite on that one right there. But before we get out of here, I do got a couple, right?
Okay.
I tell you what, I like a tie for the fourth quarter to end in a tie. That's 15-1 right there.
All right.
The first touchdown scorer under the number on the first touchdown scorer under 11.5. Those are two of my favorite wagers. And if I'm going to, my parlay will be Seahawks to win the game and the over. I like the Seahawks getting an overtime victory somewhere around a 29-23.
Okay. I dig it. I like that. Sounds good. Well, man, enjoy the game. Hopefully it'll be a fun one, and we'll talk about other things in the sports world come next week.
Hey, you know what? It's right around March Madness is right around the corner,
That's
so
right.
It's time to get rubbed up for that.
That's right. Corey Parson, BetMGM Network there, joining us as he does each and every Friday to run the numbers. We'll come back. We'll take a look at the Super Bowl matchup. Go position group by position group. Who has got the advantage? It is the Extra Point. Tyler Head along with you on your Friday here on The Game.
All my sports. The Game Network. 107.5 The Game in Columbia. 96.9 The Game in Charleston. 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach. And 100.5 The Game in Florence.
Go to 1075thegame.com and check out this sweet deal. $50 to spend at Jay's Corner for only $12.50. Just click on Sweet Deals. Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet studio. Herndon Chevrolet is your hometown dealer. Stop by today or shop online 24/7 at herndonchevy.com.
There's one way to stop the IRS from moving forward against you. That's to have an experienced attorney who understands the law and your rights. Hi, I'm local attorney John Ecton with the Ecton Law Firm. When you hear these so-called national tax resolution companies telling you your IRS problems can go away, ask yourself, does it sound too good to be true, or am I just talking with a salesperson? Will a licensed attorney handle my legal problem? An IRS problem is a serious legal matter. Don't trust your tax problems to some out-of-town TV spokesperson. Come meet with me in person, and together we'll take control. We've helped thousands of individuals and businesses with tax problems right here in South Carolina. Your first visit is completely free and confidential. So if you're facing IRS wage levies, bank levies, or tax liens, call me, John Ecton, at 803-771-9800. That's 803-771-9800. Or go to EctonLawFirm.com. If you're a Carolina resident and you have an IRS problem, hire a Carolina attorney. Hire me, John Ecton.
This is Larry Leitner, owner and founder of Midstate Roofing, and for nearly 30 years, we've continued to be the proven leader in the roofing and waterproofing industry. Midstate Roofing's proven history is your assurance that our professionals at Midstate Roofing will provide the proper advice, service, and results to the needs of your facility in a manner both safe and pleasing to your operation. From high-rise to hospitals, manufacturing to industrial, Midstate Roofing designs and installs bonded systems with a protective guarantee that will keep your operation dry and running long into the future. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
And this is Blake Liner, reminding you to protect that roof with a maintenance contract. Call me today at 803-356-1919 or online at midstateroofing.com. That's midstateroofing.com.
You'll speak to an on-call technician after hours or a Midstate Roofing staff member during hours at 803-356-1919 or online at midstateroofing.com. And as always, tell them Midstate Twins.
If you have a leak, let Midstate Roofing take a peek.
Are you a small business owner, a church, or other entity in need of a new HVAC system? AAA Heating and Air has exciting news for you. AAA Heating and Air now offers financing to qualified organizations to aid them in installing a new light commercial HVAC system. It's as easy as calling 803-677-1500 for a quote or finding them online at callAAAtoday.com. Tell them Jay Phillips of 107.5 sent you.
AAA Air when you need us. AAA Heating and Air.
Ever heard of fighting fire with fire? The South Carolina Forestry Commission does this by prescribed burning. Also called controlled burning, it's done to combat pests, remove unneeded plants, and manage crops. But the best reason to prescribe burns is to prevent larger wildfires. Prescribed burning consumes the fuels that would otherwise feed a wildfire. It's the best way to keep the nearly 13 million acres of South Carolina's forested land healthy and productive.
South Carolina Forest, they'll grow on you.
Sponsored by the South Carolina Forestry Commission, South Carolina Broadcasters Association, and this station.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code COIN to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code COIN for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code COIN for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Oh, yeah.
The Extra Point with Tyler Head.
And the kick is good.
Call or text 803-404-6100 on the Game Network.
Welcome back in. It is the Extra Point. Tyler Head along with you here on your Friday on the Game. Looking ahead to Sunday's Super Bowl as we get set to see the Patriots and Seahawks square off out in Santa Clara for Super Bowl 60. A lot of excitement the past couple of weeks in reference to not only this matchup, and again, the excitement of what should be a really good game against Seahawks favored by 4.5 going into Sunday, as we just discussed with Corey Parson there of the BetMGM Network, but also the personal connection of having a couple Gamecocks on that Seattle defense, namely Ernest Jones and, of course, Nick Emmanwori in his rookie year. Came up a little bit short of winning the NFL Rookie of the Year, Defensive Rookie of the Year, last night as Chase Schweissinger of the Browns ended up winning the award. But Nick Emmanwori got bigger fish to fry with an opportunity to win the Super Bowl coming up on Sunday, though concern did arise coming away from Wednesday after Nick Emmanwori did suffer an ankle sprain during practice. There was a video that you may have seen make its rounds on social media of him getting out of a vehicle at his hotel with a pretty pronounced limp that had his status for Sunday in a little bit of doubt. But yesterday, Mike McDonald, speaking to the media, gave his expectations for Nick going into Sunday.
There's no way the first question's about Nick, is it? Yeah, he gave us just rolled his ankle yesterday, and he's got a low ankle sprain. Going to do the walkthrough today. We're not sure how extensive, if at all, he's going to practice, but he's confident, got a great plan, fully expect him to play. So it's good, right where we want to be. So
Sounds promising. Again, we know Nick Emmanwori and his mentality. If he can get on that field on Sunday, he's going to. I know he was apparently very emotional after suffering the injury the other day, but if Mike McDonald says he can go, I fully expect him to go. What percentage he's at certainly comes into question, and what effect he can have on the game. But if Nick can get out there, he's going to get out there.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't Terrell Owens back in the day play on like a broke? All right, I just looked up just to make sure I was not lying about this. So Terrell Owens back in the Super Bowl, I don't know what number it was, but Super Bowl in 2005.
When he was with the Eagles,
yes,
right? Yeah.
Caught 9 passes for 122 yards just 7 weeks after suffering a broken fibula and torn ankle ligament. Like, I can't even imagine how hard that is to play on that. And in spite of that, he wasn't even medically cleared by his surgeon, and like risking his career. I mean, he played 62 snaps in that game. So I bring that up because it was the first thing that came to mind when I'm hearing about Nick as I pop back in here. Nick is definitely a tough guy, right? Like, I think he's going to be whatever the risk. It's not every day you get the opportunity to play in the Super Bowl, right? Yeah. Arguably the biggest game in sports. So if he's probably 50%, if he's 60%, heck, he could probably be like 10%. I'm sure he's going to go out there and give everything he has. And if he's out there, the Seahawks are better as a result. Look, I know he didn't win Defensive Rookie of the Year. I think probably South Carolina fans are probably not happy about that, though I do understand. He's a difference maker when he's out there. And we saw what he did in the NFC Championship game with those 3 pass deflections, playing really tight, defense out there in the secondary. He's a great player, and he's somebody that when he's out there for the Seahawks on Saturday, I have no doubt he'll be out there. I'm sure of it, but he's going to be definitely someone that will make a big impact.
So as we look at this game on Sunday, and again, I had the Seahawks as my pick anyway, and we'll get back into our final scores and stuff like that coming up later on in the hour. But I want to go position group by position group here and kind of see who has the advantage. And start off with the quarterback because, again, Drake May had a phenomenal regular season, and if it not been for Matt Stafford having an even better regular season, Drake May likely would have been your NFL MVP. But he struggled a bit in the playoffs, had trouble holding on to the football, particularly when it comes to fumbles. And Sam Darnold has played pretty much lights out in the 2 games that Seattle's played so far. Where do you find the quarterback advantage here?
It's tough because they're both really good. When both quarterbacks are at their best, I'm going to take Drake May. What I've seen this postseason tells me otherwise, and that's why I'm picking Sam Darnold, because Sam he's obviously dealing with the oblique injury, but he's playing really well. And if that's the type of ball he's playing at, probably not 100%, I take Sam Darnold over 100% Drake May any day. And I think Sam has been through a lot in his career. He went through some real tough times with the Jets. Didn't work out in Carolina. He goes to San Francisco as a backup. And then last year, plays really well with the Vikings to earn himself this contract. He's lived up to that contract billing already. Getting a Super Bowl win would probably be one of the best stories, I think, in recent memory. One of the better comeback stories you'll see in the recent memory of sports. Just to go from where he was with mono and, with all the things, the seeing ghosts, his time with the Jets. I mean, his first career pass in the NFL was a pick 6 on Monday Night Football against the Lions. I mean, that's how far Sam Darnold's come. So, look, Drake May is probably going to, have a chance to be back here again someday. But you never know with Sam, right? Because this could be one of those 1 years where he's just amazing and then doesn't do anything else the rest of his career. We don't know.
Yeah.
But in the moment right now, I would trust Sam Darnold to get the job done.
How about the running back position? Again, Seattle's without Zach Charbonnet. Kenneth Walker has been carrying most of the load since he went down with his injury. You do have the 2-headed backfield with Ramondre Stevenson and Travion Henderson with New England that's done a good job, and obviously they had to carry most of the load last time out in the snowy conditions in Denver.
I'm gonna go with New England on this. I like the combination of Ramondre Stevenson and Trey Henderson. I think that's a pretty good 1-2 punch. It'd be a different story, I think, if Seattle had Charbonnet available, but they do have Kenneth Walker, which does help a lot. It's pretty even in this area, but because New England is much more healthy, I'm going to give them the edge, especially since I think they are probably going to try to rely on the run game a little bit to start this game.
I might lean towards Seattle in this one, too. And I know it's just Kenneth Walker, but, man, he's been doing a really, really good job. And again, it's only one more game. As long as he can stay healthy out there, I don't think he's going to have any problem toting the rock for the majority of this. And it's close, but I might give the advantage to Seattle here.
Yeah, I wouldn't blame you either way because I think both teams have really good running backs.
How about wide receiver?
Wide receiver, I'm going to go Seattle on this one. Look, Stephon Diggs is a great receiver, but he did absolutely nothing in the AFC Championship game. And honestly, as a Bills fan, there were times where he did nothing in playoff games. So I really like JSN, really good player. And I think they got Cooper Kupp's a really nice second option in that receiving room. Like that's a Super Bowl champion wide receiver right there.
Yeah, well, Cooper Kupp was Super Bowl MVP last time he played in one with the Rams.
Exactly.
A couple years ago. And yes, Jackson Smith and Jigba is getting most of the spotlight for the phenomenal year that he's having. But man, Cooper Kupp, he's still as reliable as ever. You need a third down. You need a clutch catch late in the game. Cooper Kupp's got you covered.
Yeah. Offensive line. I don't know. Again, I haven't watched these teams enough over the course of the regular season to really know in the trenches, but I would probably go New England on this one. I don't know. My gut just tells me that.
Ooh, I got a bad stat for you. Drake May's been sacked 47 times this year.
Okay, never mind. Scratch that. We're going Seattle. Never mind.
Yeah, that was as telling as a stat can be.
Yeah, never mind.
Real quick here, defense overall.
Yeah, defense, I'm going Seattle.
I might go New England, actually, because they've led the postseason in almost every statistical category. It's close, and obviously Seattle's got a phenomenal defense. But we've saw, like, L.A. could move the ball against Seattle.
Oh, yeah.
Like, they scored 27 points in that game. They moved the ball up and down the field, put 500 yards up on them at one point in the regular season. So I don't doubt New England's ability to move the ball up and down the field. Seattle, it might be a little bit harder to come by. Both defenses are really good. It's splitting hairs, but I might give a slight nod to New England in this one.
Yeah, special teams, I'm going to go with Seattle, and then coach, I'm going with Vrabel.
Yeah, I'll go Seattle special teams. Again, Raheed Shaheed, the kickoff return, got a couple of veterans and Jason Myers and Michael Dixon handling the kicking duties there. And yeah, Vrabel just for being a longer tenure head coach, but also quite literally having played in a Super Bowl, multiple ones himself, and having the experience of the game, of the environment, of the atmosphere. At the end of the day, we give more advantages to Seattle, which may back up why they're the favorites here. But again, should be a fun, tight game on Sunday.
Definitely should be.
We'll take a look at some of the funner things happening around the Super Bowl this weekend coming up next as we continue on with the Extra Point. Tyler Head and Jack Veltri on your Friday here on The Game.
Wow, what a play. The Game Network. Columbia, Charleston, Florence, and Myrtle Beach.
Everybody loves streaming till you have to pay for it. Just download the 107.5 The Game app and stream us for free.
Flowers and chocolates are okay, but an insanely clean home from Zerorez Carpet Cleaning is sure to impress your loved one. Only Zerorez uses zero water technology to clean your carpets and other surfaces without harsh chemicals. To make things sweeter, they leave zero residue, so your carpets stay cleaner longer. Take 20% off standard cleaning services when you mention my name, Elijah Campbell, at 107.5 The Game, or book online at ZerorezColumbia.com. Zerorez, all they leave is clean.
Post Malone presents the Big Ass Stadium Tour. Returns for Part 2 with special guests Jelly Roll and Carter Faith. Congratulations. 9-time Diamond Certified Phenomenon, Post Malone. Live at Bank of America Stadium, Charlotte, June 9th. Pre-sale for City Card members is available now at LiveNation.com. The Big Ass Stadium Tour Part 2. This time, it's even bigger.
Hey guys, it's Jay Phillips for the Men's Clinic. You're not feeling like yourself as you get older? You're wondering why? Don't wait for it to change or go away. Instead, see Dr. Dan Balknight and his team at the Men's Clinic. You'll have a one-on-one consultation that gets to the root of the issues and gets you back to feeling like you used to. No such thing as a one-size-fits-all treatment at the Men's Clinic. Call them up for a free consultation, 803-875-MENS, and learn more online at themensclinicsc.com.
It's a new year in Columbia, and if you own a business, you too can have the guaranteed protection of Rhino Shield. Just ask Mike.
I was watching TV one night and saw the Rhino Shield ad, and I thought, well, if they can do a house, they can probably do a building.
Rhino Shield's not pain, it's better.
So they came out and they gave me a price, showed me how the Rhino works, how it lasts, and how the guarantee works.
Business or residential, get the guaranteed protection of Rhino Shield for 15% off the regular price.
They waited for us to leave, and they worked Saturday and Sunday so they wouldn't affect our business at all. This was the great part of it. I came back Sunday night, and you couldn't even tell they were here. There was no paint on the ground. They did a fantastic job.
Here's owner Dan Hoey.
This offer is limited, so call today at 833-RHINO-99 or visit RhinoShieldCarolina.com. Don't paint.
Don't vinyl. Go Rhino.
Don't paint. Don't vinyl. Go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Hi, I'm Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, America's largest family law firm. During this time of year, difficult relationships sometimes become impossible. If you or someone you care about is facing a family law issue, let us set up a 1-hour Cordell Consult. The Cordell Consult is a meeting with a local attorney who will give you clear guidance about your options, whether it's a separation, a postnuptial agreement, divorce, or custody. CordellCordell.com.
1201 Main Street, Columbia.
Average Amy's. Our coffee has caffeine and our muffins are cooked.
You're not average. Your marketing results shouldn't be either. Cumulus Digital outperforms industry benchmarks by over 25%. Visit cumulusdigital.com to start outperforming today.
Hey, this is Terry Ford. Got a little story time for you. If you're a business or property owner and you're needing to deter any unwanted cars from parking in your parking lots, definitely call Schroeder's Towing. They'll provide signage for your business completely free of charge. Anytime a vehicle is parked in your lot that shouldn't be, Schroeder's Towing will be there to make sure your lot stays open for your employees, customers, and tenants. Trust me, I know firsthand what happens when you ignore Schroeder's Towing signage. Just go online at schroederstowing.net.
Schroeder's Towing, the best and fastest hookers in town.
It's the biggest game on the planet, and nobody breaks it down like Jim Rome.
Who do you think will be the last one standing this year?
Fearless debate and the best callers in sports.
On any given week, you have lots to beef about. Take advantage of it. Get up in here.
Big games, big opinions, and zero mercy.
We'll get to all of that. You've been warned.
He's the Spitfire of sports smack.
A lot to get to, and I'm not sure you're going to like all of it. I don't even care if you like all of it or not. I have a job to do.
The Jim Rome Show.
What's your beef?
Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
What team sprung a leak this weekend? Sponsored by American Leak Detection on the Extra Point.
All right, welcome back in. It is the Extra Point. Tyler Head and Jack Belcher along with you here on your Friday on the Game. Get back into some of the fun Super Bowl stuff coming up here in just a second. But first, we do have to assign our Who Sprung a Leak, brought to you by our friends over at American Leak Detection. I hate to do it, but 7 runs in the top of the 6th inning yesterday. Unfortunately, Gamecock softball sprung a leak last night, letting Virginia Tech pick up the 8-4 victory. Yeah, again, it's only one game. Started the season, lot of games left to play. There'll be action later on this afternoon, take on Syracuse. But that was a tough pill to swallow last night over at Beckham.
Definitely was. When they were leading 4-1. I thought, all right, this is good. South Carolina's taken the lead. They've finally broken the ice, and this is where they're going to get it done because there's only 6 more outs to go at that point. But yeah, I was a little bit shocked. I think like a lot of folks, it wasn't really the biggest crowd last night. A lot of Virginia Tech fans there.
Also very cold. That didn't help.
Well, very cold, number one, and down the block there's a women's basketball game going on. So that's always going to take precedent. But yeah, a little bit shocked that they gave up 7 runs in an inning. But that's the thing, man. It's one game. They're going to have plenty to go after this, and they'll get another crack at Virginia Tech tomorrow. So hopefully they'll respond as Ashley Chastain Woodard expects them to.
Yeah, best of luck to them. Again, back in action today, taking on Syracuse, I believe 3 o'clock. You can watch that on the SEC Network Plus. But, of course, we're talking a lot about the Super Bowl coming up on Sunday. You weren't here for our segment with Corey there at the beginning of the hour. Any thoughts on Cardi B and the number of times we'll see her on TV on Sunday. Of course, she's dating Stephon Diggs.
Yes, she is. And I believe she's pregnant, too, with
I think.
Stephon.
Don't quote me on that.
Yes, don't quote me on that either. So, was the line is set? Is the line actually set at 1.5?
So, here's the funny thing: you can only place this bet in Canada, so it's not available in America. So don't go out there looking for it. But yes, in Canada they have set it at 1.5.
I'll say I'm gonna say over on that for sure. It probably won't be as often as Taylor Swift because Taylor Swift's a much bigger name than Cardi B, but I think if Stephon has a really good game, we could probably see this end up being like 3 or 4 times.
So that'll be fun to track with Super Bowl prop bets and everything. Are you a Super Bowl party person? Well, what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I've typically been a Super Bowl party person. Caroline had a pretty fun Super Bowl party last year at her place. That was the plan again this year, but I think she's coming here this weekend, so I think we're just going to lay low this weekend, chill. I'll make tons of different foods. I like to cook. So.
You got to go to?
Yeah, my buffalo chicken dip is it's a good party trick. It's one of my favorites.
Buffalo chicken dip and Rotel are like almost must-haves at a Super Bowl party, right? And again, you get some tortilla chips or whatever, and just phenomenal.
Yeah, so I'd say I make a pretty decent buffalo chicken dip. So that will definitely be on the itinerary for this weekend, but yeah.
See, I can't do Super Bowl parties anymore. I thought about it in the break. The last time I did a Super Bowl party, I was living with my parents, was for Super Bowl 50 with the Broncos and the Panthers, and had a few friends over, and it was fine. But at the same time, like I couldn't focus on the game because inevitably there's always people that aren't there to watch the game. They just want to talk and cause distractions, right? And especially now that I'm doing this job, I have to be like locked in and focused. I'm like, okay, this is a game I have to talk about tomorrow. I can't be distracted by people talking about casual things happening in their life. Like I'm not anti-party, but I'm just not somebody that typically goes to them anymore.
Yeah. Bill Burr put it best in like an interview. I've seen it pop up a few times around this time of year where it's like you're not a real football fan if you're at a Super Bowl party or something. Like Bill Burr is not going to a Super Bowl party. He's locked in watching on TV. So that'll definitely be how I don't know why, but that's always the first thing that comes to my mind when I hear, oh yeah, you got a Super Bowl party. I'm like,
I will say, if your team is playing in the Super Bowl, you probably shouldn't be at a party unless you're just at a party with a bunch of other diehard fans. Because again, if you're a diehard fan yourself, you're gonna be locked in on that game. And the last thing you want is somebody asking you how your job is while your team is throwing an interception in the middle of the third quarter.
Yeah. So, but the thing about those people is, they're going to be locked down halftime.
Oh yeah. Well, that's the thing, and this is where I give the NFL credit. By the way, do you know the history of the Super Bowl halftime and like how we've gotten to this point?
I have seen, yes. So I can't remember exactly year by year what happened. I know back in the day, back in like the 80s and early 90s, they would do this, I don't remember the name of it. It was like a snow, it was some silly little halftime performance.
Are you thinking of Up With People?
Yeah, something like that. There was a Disney one. There was something about snow or winter or something. It was something. I'm probably misremembering. It was something ridiculous.
There's a really good write-up on ESPN that came out about a week or so about how we've gotten to this point with the Super Bowl halftime show. And one of the pivotal moments was when the Bears won the Super Bowl against, I guess it was the Patriots, back for Super Bowl 20. The halftime show was Up With People, which was like this big, like, 600-person performance group that, sang show-tuney type of stuff, basically. And it was regarded as the worst Super Bowl halftime show ever. I, out of curiosity, went and found it on YouTube and watched about half of it, and I can concur that was probably the worst Super Bowl halftime show that I've ever seen. And after that, I believe Paul Tagliabue was the commissioner at the time. He said, never again. We are never doing this again for the Super Bowl halftime show. And the next year, I believe, is when they got Michael Jackson.
Yeah,
and since then, everything changed.
Yes. I did not realize there was an Indiana Jones halftime show at the Super Bowl in 1995. That is just random, to say the least.
So, how Bad Bunny, yay or nay?
Yeah, for sure.
You a fan?
De Bitara, más fotos, de cuando, de tuve. Yeah, I'm hyped. Like, I think it's going to be a pretty good halftime show. Now, do I know the lyrics to his songs? No. Did I just start listening to him the last few weeks? Yes, to get ready for this. Yeah, I think it's going to be good. He seems like a good performer, and it'll be fun to watch.
Yeah, and again, he'll bring in guests. That was one of the other things I brought up with Corey is some of the surprise guest short list is like Cardi B, J Balvin, J Lo, Ricky Martin. So there's no telling who's going to pop up on stage with him during the halftime show.
It'll be a good halftime show, I think.
Have you seen any Super Bowl commercials yet? Because we have this thing now where brands release them on YouTube ahead of time. That kills the spirit for me.
I've seen them pop up, and I have not watched them. I just don't want to see them until we get to the game on Sunday. Like, I've seen a few different ones that pop up, and I'm just like, nope, scroll up to the next thing.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I'm like, I want to be surprised by, because I do enjoy and look forward to the commercials during the Super Bowl, because typically during a football game, commercials when you go to the bathroom or get some snacks or whatever, but like I do legitimately enjoy seeing what happens in the breaks, and yes, they're longer breaks, but it helps them go by quicker because you're always anticipating what's coming next and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I don't understand brands releasing it ahead of time. Like, surprise me on Super Bowl Sunday. That's where I'm going to judge you.
Absolutely.
Any brands that you're looking forward to in particular in terms of ads?
I know the Budweiser, the beer companies always have probably the best commercials. Like the Clydesdale will be good. I'm interested to see if Bud Light has anything this year with like Post Malone and those other guys. I'm looking forward to that. I'm more so probably locked in to see what the movie trailers are going to look like. I'm a little annoyed that the rumor is that we're not getting any like Marvel with like Spider-Man Brand New Day is coming out in July, and we haven't had a trailer yet. Avengers Doomsday, I was kind of hoping. That's the big movie this year, and I was like, I'm kind of hoping we get one. The rumor is right now we're getting a trailer for The Mandalorian and Grogu, Supergirl, Disclosure Day, Super Mario Galaxy movie, Minions 3, Scream 7, and I think this is the movie of the year, Michael. The Michael Jackson
movie.
Biopic.
Okay.
Oh,
yeah.
Man, did you see the last trailer that came out? I mean,
I did not.
Oh, dude, it's got me fired up for April. It's going to be a great film.
Yeah, well, and you're our resident film buff here, so you got to
take my word for it.
Sounds like you got a lot of movies to watch this year.
Take my word for it. Michael is probably going to be the movie of the year.
I always look forward to Doritos, by the way. They always have really good commercials, too.
Yes, Doritos is good.
So hopefully they bring it coming up on Sunday. We'll give our Jack's final thoughts, at least, and also give our headline predictions for Monday as we look ahead to the Super Bowl as you wrap up hour number 2. It is The Extra Point here on your Friday on The Game.
All my sports. The Game Network. 107.5 The Game in Columbia. 96.9 The Game in Charleston. 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach. And 100.5 The Game in Florence.
This hour of in-show listening on 107.5 The Game is sponsored by QC Kinetics in West Columbia, the non-surgical regenerative orthopedic specialists of the Midlands. Request your consultation today at qckinetics.com.
This is a Westwood One Sports Minute.
Sponsored by AutoZone. Get in the zone, AutoZone. Who dat, baby? Drew Brees is officially a Hall of Famer. The former New Orleans Saints quarterback retired after the 2020 season as a 13-time Pro Bowl selection, also leading the league in passing yards 7 times. This is more than deserved for the QB who transformed the Saints organization. The Hall of Fame got this one right. I'm Addie Baker.
Oh, hello. It's me, the calculator that lives inside of TaxSlayer. And let me tell you, I love numbers. 1040s, 1099s, W-2s, all of them. With TaxSlayer, anyone can file a federal return for just $22.99. You'll get 100% accuracy and your biggest possible refund guaranteed. Now those are great numbers. Need help along the way? We've got US-based real human support. File by February 8th for just $22.99 and get the refund you deserve. TaxSlayer. File fearlessly.
I checked Allstate first and saved hundreds on my car insurance. Really smart. Unfortunately, I didn't check if I left the pizza box on top of my car before driving home. Not smart. Oh, and a semi just turned my deep dish into a thin crust.
Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds. Potential
Potential savings vary, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate North American Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Is your crawl space damp or musty? Water in your crawl space can cause wood to rot and creates an environment for mold and mildew that can make its way inside your home. Canty Foundation Specialist specializes in crawl space repair. Call us today for your free inspection so you can have the peace of mind knowing your crawl space is dry and your home is protected. Call today, 803-424-8380, or visit cantycanfixit.com.
My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $50 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $19 a month, a savings of $369 a year.
Whether you need a $500,000 policy or a $5 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance.
For your free quote, call SelectQuote at 1-800-478-6688. That's 1-800-478-6688. Or go to SelectQuote.com. 1-800-478-6688. That's 1-800-478-6688.
SelectQuote. We shop. You save. Full details on example policies at selectquote.com/commercials.
Don't let the insurance companies intimidate you. We'll take them to court. We got a $2.4 million verdict for a client who was hurt in a car wreck. Good heavens, dial all sevens now.
To get your attorney, dial 800 all sevens now.
The Anastapula Law Firm has been recovering millions for their clients for over 30 years. Their South Carolina personal injury attorneys have experience fighting for the rights of their clients. Remember, don't scream, call Akeem. Dial 800 all sevens now.
Herb Glass is responsible for this ad, and cases are handled at 32 Ann Street, Charleston, South Carolina 29403. Paid endorsement, not actually client. Results may vary.
Oh, yeah. The Extra Point with Tyler Head.
And the kick is good.
Call or text 803-404-6100 on the Game Network.
Welcome back in. It is the Extra Point. Tyler Head and Jack Veltri along with you, wrapping up the hour here on your Friday on the Game. We haven't really talked much of men's basketball. They are in action tomorrow as they take on Missouri over at CLA. Tip-off at 1, pregame coverage starting at 12:30 on 107.5 Game and 100.3 The Game out in Myrtle Beach. Then again on Sunday, you have the lead-in to the Super Bowl, here locally at least, with South Carolina women taking on Tennessee in a huge matchup over in that game. Tip-off at 3, pregame coverage starting at 2:30, also right here on 107.5 The Game. As we get at least Jack's final thoughts on the Super Bowl, I'll be hanging out here for the rest of the day, continuing to talk about it. Is there a villain that you can look at in this game? Anybody that's like easy to hate, or like, I definitely don't want to see that side win? Because I think like last year, right, we had the Chiefs, who, again, were looking to win 3 Super Bowls in a row. A lot of people didn't like that. The Eagles are a team that ruffles a lot of feathers. Nick Sirianni's a very unlikable head coach. You don't really, I feel like, have that in this matchup on really either side.
No, and it's a little bit surprising not to really have. I can't really say that there is a true villain. If anything, it's just the Patriots logo, honestly, that's probably just, it probably holds enough weight to just be a villain in its own right. So, yeah, I think it's not necessarily like you hate anybody or you're rooting against anyone. It's like, this is going to be a really good game, and with 2 probably likable teams this year.
Do you buy that Tom Brady doesn't have a dog in the fight?
No, I don't. I think that's laughable that he said that. And Vince Wilfork rightfully called it out right after. Like that's, to quote him, like, that is bullcrap, and I don't buy that for a second.
Do you believe that Tom Brady doesn't want to see the Patriots win because of the conversation people may have about the dynasty that he was a part of?
Maybe. It wouldn't surprise me at all if that were the case. But yeah, I get it. Why he probably I don't know. I mean, why he said that. He is a part owner of the Raiders, so he is with a different team. So I get it. But man, I mean, when you think of Tom Brady, you think of the Patriots. So it's a little weird to hear him say that.
Yeah, like every other player from that dynasty, Will Fork, Edelman, Gronk, they've all been like, yo, to hell with Seattle, go Patriots.
Exactly. Even though, like, I mean, those guys have played for other teams as well, but it's like, like you think of them as Patriots.
Yeah, no, absolutely. By the way, Vince Wilfork has slimmed down a lot since his playing career ended. That I saw the clip of him on whatever radio or podcast that was. It took me a second. I'm like, that's Vince Wilfork? Man, he's half the person that he used to be.
Exactly. Yeah, he's been like that for a little bit now. He's much thinner.
He's come a long way since the overalls in Houston.
Yes. Absolutely.
So as we get into the final couple minutes here, of course, we like to predict our future headlines coming up on Monday, and we'll kind of zero in on the Super Bowl here. Jack, on Monday morning, what is the headline we're going to be discussing from Super Bowl 60?
Sam Darnold, one of the great turnarounds in sports, I think, is what we're going to be talking about. I think it's going to be really cool to see. I think the Seahawks win this game 24-21, like I said the other day. But I do think even if Sam doesn't win Super Bowl MVP, to just go from what he did and, drafted really high, his career just looked like it was on the back burner for a little bit there in his time with the Jets and Panthers, and then to go to this, be a Super Bowl quarterback, potential Super Bowl champion before most of any of the guys in that 2018 draft class. It's crazy.
Yeah, no, it absolutely is. And I'm with you. We actually, funny enough, have the exact same score prediction with Seattle winning 24-21. I know Elijah's been gathering as many predictions as possible. He's got well over 100. And I think he said this morning the final score average is like 25.9 to like 19 point something. So we're kind of right in that window of where it seems like most people have this game being a final score.
It's going to be a good game. I think it's going to be a tight game. I don't know what the most recent spread is on this game, but I can imagine it's definitely less than a touchdown. I think it's going to be a really good game on Sunday.
In fact, I'll make my headline specific to how this game ends. I think Seattle kicks a game-winning field goal in the final 2 minutes of the game. So sometime after the 2-minute warning. Jason Myers, as I mentioned, a veteran, been around the block a while, a lot of experience. I think he on his foot is what Seattle wins the game with late.
Okay, I like it. Hey, look, that's a Marist guy right there. So that'll be a really cool thing to see if he can kick a game-winning field goal for this team.
Yeah, that'd be fun, and that's what we root for, right? If you don't have a dog in the fight, like Brady said, you want to see a good game. Last year's Super Bowl was not fun because the Eagles just took the Chiefs to the woodshed. Here's hoping that we get a better game this time around.
I'm really hoping we get a good one here. I don't want to snooze fest like we got with the Pats and Rams a bunch of years ago or last year where it's a blowout. Like, we need a good game here in Super Bowl 60.
I don't know if there's a prop bet for this, but how many times do you think Chris Collinsworth says, now here's a guy on Sunday?
I'm going to go with 3. I think
only 3?
I think so. I think he's cognizant of the fact that he does say it a lot.
I think that makes me want to say it more, though, because that's just like the signature, right? Like, he doesn't do the slide in on camera anymore, which I do miss. But like now here's a guy when he's talking about Christian Gonzalez or whatever. Like, I don't know, it's charming.
Yeah, it really is. So I think it's going to be a great game. Any predictions on the color of the Gatorade?
Oh, I'm gonna go orange. I'm gonna go orange here.
Okay.
Just gonna go a little bit random. I'm not gonna bet on that, but I'll go orange.
Okay.
So,
yeah.
Well, here's hoping it's a fun weekend. We'll talk about it on Monday.
All right, man. See you then.
Coming up next, Gamecock Central Takeover Hour presented by Firehouse Subs. We'll get back into what Coach Beam had to say, as well as recap women's sports from last night, as well as talk Super Bowl here on The Game.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet studio. Herndon Chevrolet is your hometown dealer. Stop by today or shop online 24/7 at HerndonChevy.com.
It's a new year in Columbia. And if you hate to paint, do what your neighbor Greg did. He called Rhino Shield.
We live in a beautiful 2-story home that was built in 1916. It's really been prepped and painted very, very poorly.
And Rhino Shield? It's not paint. It's better.
We really had a lot of detail work in the team at Rhino Shield. They spent really a full 4 days just on the prep work, and we were so excited to see that.
Columbia, start the new year off right. Get Rhino Shield right now for 15% off the the regular price.
We've gotten numerous compliments, and we've actually even had some of the longer-term residents of our community thank us for protecting the integrity of our home.
Here's owner Dan Hoey.
This offer is limited, so call today at 833-RHINO-99 or visit RhinoShieldCarolina.com. Don't paint.
Don't vinyl. Go Rhino.
Don't paint. Don't vinyl. Go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code COIN to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code COIN for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code COIN for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Total Wine is your home field advantage for game day. The only place to go for the lowest prices on your go-to lineup of spirits, beers, seltzers, and wines. Tackle game day and every day only at Total Wine & More. Drink responsibly, be21.
Hi, I'm Michael from the Warren Treaty. You know the jingle. Now discover the facts about Ozempic, a GLP-1. Only Novo Nordisk makes FDA-approved Ozempic. Learn about the real thing.
Talk to your healthcare professional today. Call 1-833-OZEMPIC or visit Ozempic.com to view the medication guide and to learn more about Ozempic. Semaglutide injection 0.5 milligram, 1 milligram, and 2 milligrams.
Find what you love and love what you find at Total Wine & More. There's so much waiting for you.
With the lowest prices for over 30 years, find what you love only at Total Wine & More. Drink responsibly, be21.
For appliances with Reliances, that's Jeffers McGill.
Come see the entire line of GE appliances at 1421 Atlas Road. Jeffers McGill offers the best customer service and lowest price on every GE make and model, including GE Profile, Monogram, and Cafe brands. Jeffers McGill and GE, your home team.
For appliances with Reliances, that's Jeffers McGill.
Hey guys, Wes Mitchell from Gamecock Central here to make sure your business and property parking lots are kept available from any unwanted cars taking up your spots with Schroeder's Towing. For instance, you're coming in hot to the game studios for your show and you park next door in an unauthorized lot with signage that was provided for free from Schroeder's Towing. Next thing you know, the show is in the books and your car is out of the lot. It really is that simple. That's a true story. Call Schroeder's today and keep those unwanted cars out of your lots. Online at schroederstowing.net.
Schroeder's Towing, the best and fastest hookers in town.
Your home for the Gamecocks. 107.5 The Game. WNKT Eastover, Columbia. A Cumulus media station. The Gamecock Central Takeover Hour with Tyler Head, along with Chris Clark and Wes Mitchell from Gamecock Central. Sponsored by Firehouse Subs. Call or text 803-404-6100 on the Game Network and on the 107.5 The Game app.
11 o'clock on your Friday morning. Welcome in. Gamecock Central Takeover Hour presented by Firehouse Subs. Tyler Head, Wes Mitchell, Chris Clark, along with you here on the game. Oh, so many things to talk about. Women's sports in action yesterday. Beamer talking on Wednesday. And of course, that, big game that's coming up on Sunday that might be of a little bit of importance. I think we're all going to be paying attention to. Excited. Should be a fun weekend.
Nicky Memori Day on Sunday. How often will Nick get talked about in this game, considering he's now got the Tom Brady stamp of approval and considering everything he's done in the playoffs to this point?
Yeah, I think we're going to get, is it is it who's the sideline reporter for MDC now? I forget. It's not Michelle Tafoya anymore. Whoever the sideline reporter is, as they're getting ready for kickoff, I'm sure we'll get a Nicky Minwori in pregame warm-ups was doing this and doing that. And here's what Mike McDonald told me right before he took the field. Like, a lot of in-depth coverage on how Nick's feeling after, again, that video came out that looked pretty bad of him limping going into his hotel, but Mike McDonald assured he was going to be ready to go. And as we talked about, we don't have any doubt that he is going to give it his best go no matter what percent his body is at going into Sunday.
Yeah, that might not be, Tyler, that might be Congresswoman Michelle Tafoya to you.
Very true. So it could be.
Her and Derek Dooley.
Oh,
making think. Yeah,
we're not going to go down this route, but if you haven't seen the response to Derek Dooley on Twitter from the other side, I highly recommend seeking it out. Again, not taking sides here, but it was well done.
Your film is your resume. People had fun with that one with Derek Dooley.
Yeah.
But no, guys, a couple notes on Nicky Minwori to get back to the heart of the matter. Number one, snubbed. Hashtag snubbed.
You think so?
Did not win Defensive Rookie of the Year. Carson Schwessinger.
Now, Schwessinger had a really good season. He did a little bit of everything.
Had a great season.
Guys,
no
he's
doubt.
Tom Brady's Rookie of the Year, so that
might be more important.
That's enough for me.
That's more important.
That's why Wes didn't bring it up. In his mind, and in my mind, I'm with you, Wes. Defensive Rookie. We're just going to start saying it. Former Defensive Rookie of the Year.
Yeah.
Nicky, right. Didn't Carson? No, he didn't win it.
Tom Brady Defensive Rookie of the Year.
the TB12 Defensive Rookie of the Year. But yeah, I mean, Mike McDonald spoke to the media. Nick spoke to the media. I mean, Nick classified it as like, I had a scare, but I'm going to be good. I'm going to play. Now, is he 100% of the Nicky Minwori that we have become accustomed to seeing at South Carolina and with the Seahawks in the NFL? I hope so. You got to figure they're going to limit him as much as they can up to it. They're going to tape that thing up nice. Maybe he'll get a little...
they have methods, Chris.
Little something for the pain, and he'll be really, really sore after the game. But, yeah, it's good that we're not sitting here going, oh, Nicky Minwori's not going to be able to play in the game at all. That would be devastating.
Yeah, just give him something to manage it for, 90 minutes in the first half, another 90 minutes or so in the second half, and you can feel as bad as you want on Monday and the days after that because Sunday is all that matters.
Yeah, and, I mean... Nick's a competitor, man. I've seen this guy go off the field. I've seen this guy. There was a play. I can't remember what game this was. He was on the field a lot in those 3 years. I want to say, could it have been Jacksonville State maybe? It was kind of a meaningless game, and Nick got hit low or something and kind of was hobbling around, and they tried to send somebody. I think they tried to send Peyton Williams on. And Nick went, nope. And he just literally sent the reserve back to the sideline. And then on the very next play, he ran up and made the tackle at the line of scrimmage. So Nick is not quite – he may be from Irmo, but he's actually not from this planet at times. So I like to think of – don't we all like to think of greatness? Like, I don't really like to think that Nick can even get hurt. Like, I just, in my mind, I'm like, it's one game. He's going to figure out a way to go out there and play well. Sunday, boys, this is a little off the beaten track for us normally, but have y'all been following this Lindsey Vaughn situation as well?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
So, I was just looking at that before we came on.
Speaking of greatness and just wanting to watch something for the sheer just absurdity of it, at 41 years old, she today attempted and completed her training run a week after tearing her ACL, hitting a top speed of 74 miles per hour. They have not fixed the ACL yet. It's just in there.
It's just in there.
So,
guys, if I'm going skiing in March, if my knee even hurts, if I wake up that morning, I'm like, my knee's a little sore, I will not be going.
If you sleep wrong the night before, you're like, that's it. Nope, not going to happen today.
which I did. Recently I did. I woke up and, I had a couple days of like this crazy back pain. And I told Wes, I'm like, my back, he's like, what's going on? I'm like, I hurt myself sleeping. Like that's the crazy, that shows the difference between an elite athlete like Lindsey Vonn and like me and regular people, right? Like I hurt myself sleeping, and Lindsey Vonn's like, I'm a little bit older than you, and I'm skiing 75 miles an hour with a torn ACL. Just completely insane.
Will y'all watch?
I'll watch that. Yeah.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah,
I love
sure.
the Olympics.
For sure.
Yeah.
No, and I believe because is today the opening for the Olympics?
Yes.
Yeah. That's what I thought.
I think the opening ceremony is actually at 2:00 today. If you watch it live, I think it's tonight in terms of like they'll do a replay, Friday night type thing. But I gotta be honest. For one, I'm a sucker for greatness. Like if you tell me we're watching table tennis and you're like, this guy is going for the all-time, he's the LeBron James, Michael Jordan of okay, all right, I'll watch this guy. At least, if I find it on TV, maybe I'm not going to seek it out. But also, they get me with these storylines. Like, I'm a sucker. Like, if you just said, hey, it's the Olympics, she's going to do this skiing event, okay, cool. Like, I might turn it on. But throw in the fact that she's 41. This will be her last ever opportunity to go compete for her country. She has one, I think, titanium leg, and the other has an ACL that's torn. Like, I'm all in for this, and I will be cheering like I've been watching Lindsey Vonn her entire career.
Yeah, no doubt. That's going to be exciting to watch, see how she does with that. You guys want to see the transition of all transitions? Since we're talking about greatness, how about what happened last night at CLA with Joyce Edwards hitting 1,000 points?
Curiosity, Joyce, were you? Did you know how many from 1,000 you were away going into tonight?
No. I don't really think about that stuff. So.
And are you aware that you did it in 5 fewer games than Asia Wilson did?
No. That's cool.
Initial thoughts on that?
Obviously she's a great player. I'm trying to be where she's at. So, I don't think it really means much because she has accomplished so much more than me in basketball. So, everybody's goal is just to be just like her.
It is worth noting, Dawn Staley disputed the claim that Joyce Edwards had no idea she was nearing the 1,000-point mark. She said she was well aware of that. She was just trying to be humble post-game. But, guys, we've talked about her so much, and what's not even been 2 full, complete years here at Carolina. She came in super hyped, obviously a local product, 5-star and all that, and she has absolutely lived up to every bit of that billing so far, and there's still plenty more basketball we're going to get to see of her over the next couple years to continue to write what her legacy is going to be here at Carolina.
Excellent questions, as always, by Lulu from Greenville News. Does a fantastic job. And, I'm glad that Dawn Staley disputed it because I think you could hear from Joyce's voice that she had an idea of that. But, you got to stay humble. You got to maybe, we don't care about that stuff. But it is a pretty awesome accomplishment regardless of, whether you care more about points or winning. She obviously cares more about winning and legacy and all that stuff. But, man, to do it, here's the thing for me, to do it on a loaded team, like sometimes individual stats, you can pile those up while maybe not winning as much. You can pile those up. Like if she was on this team and there was just a bunch of, no offense, 3-stars, and it was just like the entire game plan the last 2 years had been, let's feed Joyce Edwards, then, there's going to be probably a lot more individual success, but not the team success. So for her to do it, coming off the bench last year, now moving into the starting lineup this year, pretty amazing. And did y'all catch the graphic they popped up with the comparison where it's Asia, it's Aaliyah, it's Joyce Edwards, their points per game as true freshmen, all pretty much within like a point per game of each other. And then you go into sophomore year, and Joyce is like well above Aaliyah and Asia.
Yeah, it's great. She is not the, Bill Simmons from The Ringer. I used to devour all his written stuff back in the old Page 2 ESPN days. And he's coined so many things that are kind of now in the sports lexicon, but he had the the good stats, bad team, player, where it's kind of the situation you described, Wes, where, somebody is the star on a team. They're getting fed. They're doing the bulk of the work. I think here's a throwback. Sharif Abdur-Rahim was on his list of players who was like one of those all-stars. That's not Joyce, right? I mean, yes, she benefits because she has so many other good players around her, but teams have to key on her. They are very, very aware when they're starting their game planning. They're probably starting with Joyce Edwards and what she can do inside. And it's really hard to get to a place and do. I mean, Asia Wilson did it, right? Jadeveon Clowney did it in football. Get somewhere, be a top-ranked recruit, come in with so many expectations, and then be able to live up to them. I mean, I think people maybe just expect that, but it's harder than you would think. And Joyce Edwards has absolutely done that so far in her career. And she's got crazy things. She can get a lot better. Yeah. This is her as a sophomore. This is not even finished year 2. She's got a lot of growth left. And, I feel like she's going to continue being talked about more and more in women's college basketball, as she should.
And again, I understand, want to kind of take the humble route of not patting yourself on the back for an accomplishment last night, but she's going to have a lot more praise continue to be lofted her over the next 2 years, and who knows what only her and this team will continue to accomplish in that time frame. But congratulations to her. They're back in action on Sunday. Big matchup leading into the Super Bowl will be South Carolina taking on Tennessee, and you can listen to that here on the game. Pregame coverage starting at 2:30 and tip-off at 3 o'clock. We'll get into what happened last night over at Beckham Field with softball, as well as more of what Coach Beamer had to say on Wednesday, talking to the media, looking back on the season, looking ahead to 2026. That is the Gamecock Central Takeover Hour, presented by Firehouse Subs here on the game.
Wow, what a play! The Game Network, Columbia, Charleston, Florence, and Myrtle Beach.
Powered by Integrated Media. The Game TV. Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass. For auto, home, and commercial glass. ShepherdsGlass.com. In Chapin and West Columbia. The Game TV. Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass. Shepherd's Glass. Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet studio. Herndon Chevrolet is your hometown dealer. Stop by today or shop online 24/7 at HerndonChevy.com.
They say perfection is a journey, and at Carolina Stone Craftsman, that journey leads us to just outside Columbia in Chapin. Our marble, our granite, our quartz, they're sculpted with the highest craftsmanship, honed with family values, and delivered with professional results. Explore the craftsmanship of each slab, see all our new showroom has to offer, and experience our custom hardscapes. Crafted to perfection, experience Carolina Stone Craftsman's workmanship. Take us for granted. Your journey to perfection starts with us. Carolina Stone Craftsman, just beyond Columbia and Chapin and beyond your expectations. CarolinaStoneCraftsman.com.
Get a free second pair of glasses with insurance at iMart Express. Now with an upgraded selection of over 150 frames to choose from. Pick one for when you're busy doing nothing, and one for when you're up for anything. Plus, with free same-day speed, go from booking an eye exam to walking out with new glasses in a blink. So you can take your vision benefits further, faster. iMart Express. Get glasses, go see.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $200-$300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code COIN to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code COIN for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code COIN for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Worn tires make it harder to stop safely, and these Columbia roads don't help either. At Wetzel's Automotive, we carry a full range of top brand tires to keep you safe in every season. As your local auto shop, you'll always get personal service, expert installation, and free rotations with every purchase. We make sure your tires are mounted, balanced, and aligned the right way so you drive with confidence. We'll take care of everything you need in one stop without the runaround you get at big box stores. Visit us at 2017 Augusta Road in West Columbia or online at wetzelsauto.com.
It's a new year, Columbia, and if you hate to paint, do what your neighbor Jean did. She called Rhino Shield.
So the house was built in 1952. We had Rhino Shield out about a year and a half ago to paint our house from gray to white.
Remember, Rhino Shield's not paint. It's better.
My husband had to talk to me a little bit about Rhino Shield. This is something we want to do, but it was 25-year guarantee. I just didn't know how we could go wrong.
Columbia, get the guaranteed protection of Rhino Shield now for 15% off the regular price.
We have 3 different exteriors to our property, and Rhino Shield painted them all. We were very pleased with the product and the job they did.
Here's owner Dan Hoey.
This offer is limited, so call today at 833-RHINO-99 or visit RhinoShieldCarolina.com. Don't paint.
Don't vinyl.
Go Rhino.
Don't paint, don't vinyl, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Some gifts are worn, others are remembered. At Traditions Fine Jewelers, start a story with a free sterling silver charm bracelet when you purchase $60 in sterling silver charms. Each charm captures a memory, a place you've been, a person you love, a moment you never want to forget. Because every bracelet is as unique as the life behind it. With hundreds of charms to choose from, now's the perfect time to begin a keepsake or an heirloom. The free charm bracelet giveaway is happening now at Traditions Fine Jewelers in Sand Hills and in Lexington, while supplies last.
The Gamecock Central Takeover Hour with Tyler Head, along with Chris Clark and Wes Mitchell from Gamecock Central. Sponsored by Firehouse Subs. Call or text 803-404-6100 on the Game Network and on the 107.5 The Game app.
Welcome back in. Gamecock Central Takeover Hour presented by Firehouse Subs. Tyler, West, and Chris with you on your Friday here on the game. We'll get into what Coach Beamer had to say on Wednesday coming up in just a moment, as well as some more Super Bowl stuff with Buy or Sell coming up at the bottom of the hour. But we do need to spend a moment talking about what happened last night over at Beckham Field. Of course, been hyping up the start of softball season, year number 2 under Ashley Chastain Woodard, and things looking pretty good as South Carolina held the 4-1 lead as they entered towards the late innings of last night's game. Unfortunately, last night, Emma Friedel takes the mound in the top of the 6th inning, home run on her first pitch, loads the bases, walks in another run. Jory Hurd comes in and tried to clean up the mess, but unfortunately, Carolina surrenders 7 runs in the top of the 6th inning. They did put themselves in a situation to score a few more in the bottom of the 6th, couldn't play any more runners, and they fall to Virginia Tech 8-4 in the opening contest of the season.
Yeah, tough way to start the year. Obviously, got away from them in the late innings, and yeah, this was a tight ball game to start. It kind of looked like it was going to play out much like many of their games last year did, where you're in a tight game, you hang in there, you have great at bats, you wear down the opponent, you see more pitches. This is, as Ashley has talked about, a very patient kind of approach at the plate, and it was playing out perfectly. And then you have Emma Friedel, who is coming in with very high expectations at South Carolina, actually. And, I just wonder if the moment, maybe there's some nerves, the first pitch you throw in the Garnet and Black, gets hit really, really hard, honestly. And, is out of a park that's kind of tough to hit home runs in. And, I just wonder if it kind of spiraled and then the momentum was lost there for South Carolina. So no doubt not the start they wanted. I'm sure it stung a little bit. I'm sure it was a little bit of a, maybe a surprising kind of punch to the gut, but I have no doubt they'll respond today and get this thing back going right.
Yeah, I mean, you don't, and Ashley talked about this after the game. Last year you had that magical start that frankly nobody expected, where you're going 20-0, and that's not an option now. But as Ashley mentioned after the game, you're going to try to go 19-1, right? You have to have to shelve this and put it behind you. I think we saw a lot of things that, just like you didn't expect that start last year, the 20-0 start, you didn't expect to come out and lose when you do have more expectations, heightened expectations going into this year. But it's also one game, right? And you can kind of see, I think the way you put it, Wes, is very fair, just kind of spiraled on you. Ashley mentioned another term that I think is pretty accurate. You just got blitzed there by VT at the end of the game. You had some opportunities at the plate that you didn't quite cash in. You had this is a team that's been was so good last year defensively. They had some lapses there, where they weren't quite as good as you're accustomed to seeing. So are you disappointed? Are they disappointed in losing game one? Sure. You always want to win your opener, get off on the right foot. Are there things that you're just in a one-game sample size super concerned about for the long haul? I don't think so. I think the key is just getting that thing over with, getting that first loss out of the way, and then seeing where you can go from here afterwards.
Another game coming up today, 3 o'clock, taking on Syracuse. Again, you can watch that on the SEC Network Plus. Another chance to play Virginia Tech tomorrow at 5:30. And then Sunday, they'll wrap things up with Binghamton at 12:30, and then Winthrop at 3 o'clock to round out the Gamecock Invitational Tournament weekend. So certainly best of luck to them, and we'll recap all that coming up on Monday. Getting back into what Coach Beamer talked about the other day when addressing the media. Of course, this press conference was mainly to talk about the transfer portal class, and they obviously asked him about a number of things, but he did at one point kind of talk about what he was looking for going into the portal in terms of the guys he was hoping to get out of it. Here's what he had to say.
Yeah, to me, guys, and I told most of them on the visit, if you love, I think I said it in one of the things we put out on social media, you see me say it in that team meeting room next door, but guys that love football, love to compete, and don't have entitlement. If you love football, come. If that's what we were looking for. If you love to compete, come on. That's what we were looking for. If you have entitlement, don't come. This isn't the place for you. And found a lot of guys like that. But start with those three qualities. Obviously, the talent, you got to be able to be good enough to play here. But you watch the tape, and then you dig into that stuff, just like the current guys on our team, guys that love football, love to compete, and are just hungry and don't think anything's going to be given to them because they came here from school X, or they're getting paid this amount of money, or you are all whatever at the school you came from. That's great. That's all in the past. Everybody's here now. Everybody's part of the 2026 team, and let's get ready to go compete and see how good we can be.
And that point kind of goes to something we talked about last week when the hype video came out, and Beamer was asked about it by Jack the other day as well, about kind of those three main points that were reasons why most of the players on the team thought they struggled a year ago: not being able to finish, not being detailed, and having the wrong mindset. And Beamer talks about it there in terms of guys he's going out and trying to find in the portal. And yes, you have some guys that you have the prior relationship with from when they were high school recruits, so you know them a little bit better. But a lot of these guys, as we talk about, you're speed dating. You're getting to know them within a couple of days or a one-day period of time to try and figure out as much as you can, in addition to obviously seeing what you see on the tape and making sure you nail that, not only to have guys that aren't going to be locker room problems, but guys that can come in here and be leaders. Because, again, we've talked about it so much. That was such a big key for 2024, having guys, a lot of them from the portal, coming in and being difference makers, voices in the locker room that helped rally the troops when the chips were down at times during that season.
Yeah, and guys, I mean, I think that's something that, you can see, but you don't really see it until you get the guys in for a long period of time. And then even then, it's kind of like on the field when you talk about, hey, a guy's performing well in practice. Okay, well, what do they do once you get under the lights? And so some of this stuff only reveals itself when you have some adversity. And, I think even the best teams, if you're going to play at the major college football level, you're going to have adversity at some point in a season, at some point in the course of a game. To give some credit where it's due, and just something that has stuck with me throughout this past season towards the end there is, you look at the Texas A&M game for South Carolina, and A&M played the worst game they possibly could have in the first half. South Carolina played a great game in the first half. And then you look over there and seeing Marcel Reed rallying his team, rallying the troops, and kind of having the entire team around him and just basically owning the moment, I think kind of stood out to me as an example of what you want from great leadership within your program. And you're going to have moments where people on social media say you stink, like you're just not going to play well. Like Marcel Reed probably played as poorly as a guy of his talent level could possibly play in the first half. Credit to the South Carolina defense for putting him in that position, but he just was not himself. And instead of sort of just saying, well, this ain't my day, it takes a special type of leader, a special type of competitor. I think the competitiveness is something you're also looking for, a special type of competitor to say, hey, this was not my half. Let me reset and go back out there and give my team a chance. So all these things you're trying to find during the portal process.
Yeah, and I think, getting older is a part of that. Shane Beamer's pointed out so many times, look at Vandy. That's the one he probably brings up the most, right, is Vanderbilt from last year. Certainly they were one of the reasons among many that they were really good is because they were so experienced. You just look up and down there. They're too deep. They're just absolutely loaded with seniors, fourth-year guys, fifth-year guys, grads. And that's really what everybody's trying to do now, right? So you look at South Carolina's portal class, they brought in a lot of guys that have played a lot of football. We were going over it yesterday. In terms of offensive line snaps, they've got one of the highest figures in the country in terms of just maybe the highest, just in terms of how many snaps have the guys that are in your offensive line room played over time. They're loaded from that standpoint. Now, that doesn't automatically mean the level of play is going to rise significantly. Doesn't mean you're going to be a great team, go win 10 games, make the college football playoff. But does it help? I think so, because it is a tough league. And you're going to need guys like that who have been through some of those battles when it gets tough.
Again, based on what we've seen them bring out of the portal so far, they seem to have checked a lot of those boxes. We'll learn more about these guys as the off season goes along, and certainly hoping that 2026 is better than 2025 was. Definitely a very important season for Coach Beamer as he enters year number 6. We'll get into buy or sell coming up on the other side. Super Bowl 60 edition as the Gamecock Central Takeover Hour presented by Firehouse Subs rolls along on your Friday here on The Game.
All my sports. The Game Network. 107.5 The Game in Columbia. 96.9 The Game in Charleston. 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach. And 100.5 The Game in Florence.
Go to 1075thegame.com and check out this sweet deal. Get a home exterior pressure wash from Ford's Full Court Pressure Wash for only $15. Just click on Sweet Deals.
If you've ever been to a Palmetto Citizens Federal Credit Union, you know there's something different about the people who work there. They're the type of people who mail a wallet they found on the street back to the owner, who always share their fries, who say bless you when you sneeze, even if it's like 5 sneezes in a row, who get just as excited when something good happens to you as if it happened to them. You know what? Maybe you should just stop by sometime and see for yourself. Palmetto Citizens. Feel the love. Federally insured by NCUA.
Even the best players need a strong team behind them. Atkins Law is always there for you, whether you're hurt on the job or in a motor vehicle accident. Who you hire matters.
You focus on recovery, and we'll handle the rest. As proud Gamecock alumni, we understand what it means to have a good support system on and off the court.
So when life takes an unexpected turn, trust the team that fights for you.
Call us at 803-251-6406 or visit hollyatkinslaw.com.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, your favorite drafts are poured at a frosty 29 degrees, and rare barrel-aged whiskeys are served just the way you want them. It's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch every day from lunch to late night? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Twin Peaks Scratch Kitchen scores every time. Dig into hand-smashed burgers, chef-inspired flatbreads, and more at your local lodge.
Cooler weather is coming, which means more time spent in your home with family and friends. Make sure your home is ready. At AAA Heating and Air, home comfort is their top priority. Schedule a seasonal maintenance appointment to get your heating and cooling system in prime condition. And speaking of spending more time indoors, ask about AAA Heating and Air's indoor air quality products that eliminate odors, remove allergens, and can even reduce the spread of some airborne viruses while you sleep. Picture this: you're watching a nail-biter game, food's in the oven, and suddenly everything goes dark. Don't let storms and power outages ruin your plans. Get a free consultation for a whole home standby generator with easy financing. Join the AAA Comfort Club for added discounts and priority scheduling. Call AAA Heating and Air at 803-677-1500 today. Home with a $1,500 buyback, no payments for 1 whole year, and 0% financing. Tell them Jay Phillips sent you.
AAA Air when you need us. AAA Heating and Air.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $200-$300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code COIN to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code COIN for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code COIN for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Flowers and chocolates are okay, but an insanely clean home from Zero Res Carpet Cleaning is sure to impress your loved one. Only Zero Res uses zero water technology to clean your carpets and other surfaces without harsh chemicals. To make things sweeter, they leave zero residue, so your carpets stay cleaner longer. Take 20% off standard cleaning services when you mention my name, Elijah Campbell, at 1075 The Game, or book online at ZeroResColumbia.com. Zero Res. All they leave is clean.
Finding excuses to not do your taxes? Well, you can start today and file for free with TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. Just file on your own in the Credit Karma app by February 28th and you'll pay $0. Start filing for free today. Offer only for those who didn't file with TurboTax last year.
The Gamecock Central Takeover Hour with Tyler Head, along with Chris Clark and Wes Mitchell from Gamecock Central. Sponsored by Firehouse Subs. Call or text 803-404-6100 on the Game Network and on the 1075 The Game app.
Run it back, turbo.
Welcome back in. Gamecock Central Takeover Hour presented by Firehouse Subs. Tyler West, Chris, along with you on your Friday here on the Game. Big game coming up on Sunday, Super Bowl 60, Patriots and Seahawks. And it being 11:30 on Friday, you know what time it is. It's time to buy or sell. Buy or sell number one. Now, you got to take the injury into account for this one. Nicky Manwari has had 4 pass deflections in the postseason so far, including 3 in the NFC Championship game. If I set the line at 2.5, you can buy the over or sell the under of pass deflections for Nicky Manwari on Sunday.
Oh.
That's a lot of pass deflections there, Tyler.
It is.
Did it all in one game last time.
Man, you're going to make me go against the local guy in the Super Bowl?
You don't have to.
Sorry, Nick. I got to sell.
All right. Chris?
I know. That's kind of where I'm at, too, man. Like,
Chris lives in Irmo, by the way.
Yeah, be
what
careful.
Are you trying to do, Wes?
They might be banging down your door if you answer this one wrong.
I'm just saying he's not going to support his the local guy.
Mermite.
You need Chris has to have blind support at this point. Just anything positive for Nicky Manwari, take it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tyler's like, over under 7 interceptions in one game. I got to buy it, guys. You know? No, I mean, to your point, Wes, breaking up that many passes to where you're credited with a pass deflection is pretty tough. I'm like, what he did against the Rams, like, you don't see that a lot, So I do have to go. I do have to sell. I'm going under that.
Okay.
I hate it. But it is what it is.
You know what? I'm gonna go blind confidence here. I'm gonna buy it. Yes, okay. Limited by the injury, but I'm gonna go homer here and buy that for Nick. Buy
I respect it.
Yeah, buy or sell number 2. Drake May and Sam Darnold tied for second in the NFL in total fumbles lost this season. Drake May has lost 2 in the playoffs so far himself. Buy or sell, neither quarterback loses a fumble on Sunday.
I think I gotta sell that. Like the pressure is on in the Super Bowl, and but both from just the pressure of the moment, and certainly in terms of Seattle's defense, you're talking about an all around swarming defense that can make some plays. There's going to be, for either whoever is down late, there starts to be like that little bit of desperation, I think, where the ball gets turned over at a higher rate. Maybe that plays up even more in a Super Bowl because you have so much on the line. So I think somebody will fumble.
Yeah, that's where my head's at too. I got to sell.
This is only quarterbacks. Only quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Okay. Just make sure you understand.
Somebody being one of the 2 quarterbacks.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll sell as well. Again, Drake May's just been a little careless with football so far in this postseason. I think, and again, with Seattle's defense being as good as they are at forcing turnovers, I think he probably puts the ball on the ground at least once and loses it. Going to the running game now, Seattle's without Zach Charbonnet, though Kenneth Walker III has been handling the load pretty good in the postseason since he's been out. Buy or sell, Kenneth Walker III can outrush both Ramondre Stevenson and Travion Henderson himself on Sunday.
Golly.
Chris, you can go first.
Yeah. Oh, well, thank you very much. Outrush by himself. You know what? Buy for the fun of it.
Okay.
Tyler?
I'll sell. I think because Ramondre Stevenson and Travion Henderson are both 2 very capable backs themselves. The Patriots had to lean on the run game because Drake May hasn't had the best postseason so far. I'll sell on that because I think Walker's going to do fine, but I don't think he's going to outrush them by himself.
I have no reason, but I'm going to buy it.
Okay.
No notes.
Yeah.
Love it.
Hey, you know what? This is the Super Bowl. We're not keeping score on this one. We've already crowned Chris the buy or sell champion, so you can throw caution in the wind here. It's okay.
It's all right.
Buy or sell number 4. The first point scored in the game will not be a touchdown. So that can be a field goal. That can be a safety, but not a touchdown.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of times you kind of see the early script drive defense maybe tightens up in the red zone. You see team, even though everybody loves to go for it on 4th down now, I feel like to start a Super Bowl just to take that early lead, especially knowing points may be at a premium, coaches will be very willing to say, you know what, we'll take a 3-0 lead to start this thing. So I think it'll be a field goal, and so I'll buy that.
Okay.
Tyler, did you go back and look and have a stat for us? Like, the last 10 Super Bowls, the first scores are all touchdowns.
I will ask you guys a trivia question. Do you remember the last time a safety was the first point scored in a Super Bowl?
No clue. No.
You take a guess?
No, I don't.
It wasn't last year.
Not last year.
That's all I know.
2013, when Seattle played Denver, and the snap went over Peyton Manning's head on the first snap of the game and rolled into the end zone, safety. And somebody won like a ton of money by placing that bet because that was such an obscure prop bet that I don't think it ever happened before up to that point.
Can you imagine being a center playing one of the biggest games of your entire life and then you snap it over your quarterback's head like the first snap of the game, and now you're thinking about it the rest of the way?
Oh,
well, that did kind of set the tone for how that game would unfold.
Yeah, that's right.
Last year, punts were traded, and the Eagles scored first on a touchdown. That means absolutely nothing historically for this game, but just a random note for you. I'm actually going to – so, Wes, you bought the field goal? Is that right?
I bought something other than a touchdown, yes.
Something other. I'm going to sell.
Okay.
Somebody scores a touchdown first.
I'll buy it. I kind of agree with Wes that I think, kind of feeling it out early, especially with how good these defenses are that should clamp down as you get closer to the red zone. I think somebody kicks field goal to start this thing off. Another one here. This has become one of my favorite tasks. The winning score occurs in the final minute of regulation or overtime.
I would love this, but we can't be that lucky. I'll sell.
Chris?
Yeah, I'm in exact same boat. I'm going to sell, just kind of playing the odds. I would love if it came down to a last minute or a Super Bowl OT. That would be outstanding. I'll sell.
I gave my prediction earlier, and I said that it's going to be won with a field goal in the last minute, so I'm going to have to buy this.
Nope. Okay.
Do you guys like a bonus question?
Always.
Yes.
Will the score be a scoregami, buy or sell? Do you guys have a final score prediction already?
No, I do not. Scoregami meaning that it hasn't happened before in the Super Bowl?
Just in NFL history, a unique score that has never occurred in Super Bowl or NFL history.
In any
game. I mentioned that Broncos-Seahawks Super Bowl that was 43-8. That was a scoregami. So do you think we have a scoregami in the Super Bowl?
I'd probably have to sell that just on the odds there as well.
Okay.
Right? I mean, what are the chances at this point of a scoregami? They got to be very, very low.
Well, hey, we have scoregamis constantly throughout the season, so nothing's impossible here. Just saying. So it's a bonus question.
There's a website for it.
There is. Well, there used to be a Twitter account that apparently the new Twitter algorithm screwed it up where it doesn't work anymore.
Oh, shocker. NFLscoregami.com.
Yes.
Go check that out. I'm going to sell. Same thing. Odds. I mean, we do get them, like you said, Tyler.
We do.
There's a lot of different combinations. I'll sell.
I'll sell as well. We'll give our final scores in a moment, but I have a very basic, generic kind of score, so nothing unique here. We'll give our final thoughts, give our score predictions, also talk about other things happening with the Super Bowl to wrap up the hour. It is the Gamecock Central Takeover Hour, presented by Firehouse Subs, here in the game.
Wow, what a play! The Game Network. Columbia, Charleston, Florence, and Myrtle Beach. Gamecock fans, get ready for something new this season. Charleston now has a new station for Carolina sports talk. Dial in to 96.9 The Game on HD3. Head to 96.9 FM and on an HD radio, punch into HD Channel 3. You'll unleash live Carolina coverage you can listen to all day long. New on HD3. It's 96.9 The Game HD3, South Carolina's newest sports station.
This is a Westwood One Sports Minute.
Matthew Stafford is now an MVP after beating out Drake May for the prestigious award. The 37-year-old Stafford led the NFL in passing yards with over 4,000. He led in touchdowns with 46, and he even said he's coming back next season. Well, he hinted at it. This is going to be legendary for the Los Angeles Rams next season. I'm Addie Bates.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ethos.com/game. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
This is the story of the one. As the purchasing manager at a manufacturing plant, she knows the only thing more important than having the right safety gear is having it there when you need it. That's why she partners with Grainger for auto reordering, so her team members can count on her to have cut-resistant gloves on hand, and each shift can run safely and efficiently. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed? Can I make my site softer?
Can I make my site firmer?
Can we sleep cooler? Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. Enjoy personalized comfort for better sleep night after night. And now, during our President's Day sale, take 50% off our limited edition bed. Shop now for a limited time. Only at a Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com.
Hi,
Hi, Flo here from Progressive. You know, life changes quickly, so it's good to have flexible coverage.
Oh, you mean like adding another vehicle?
Yes, that's something we can do.
Great, because I was thinking about getting a van so we could just keep the kids' softball stuff in the car.
Oh, we don't need to get into specifics. Just saying it's easy to change.
Oh, and Hannah wants to try the tuba.
Again, we don't need the specifics.
Last year, she wanted to be a tap dancer, but that only lasted 2 lessons.
Okay.
But she kept the shoes because they are adorable.
Well, just know that with Progressive, you can easily add another car to your auto insurance because we know life changes.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
This Valentine's Day, celebrate the one you love the most with Hallmark cards at Walgreens. Valentine's Day is the best time to send your favorite person a reminder of just how much they mean to you. A Hallmark card is a super simple and beautiful way to say how grateful you are for the love you two share. Don't forget, Valentine's Day is Saturday, February 14th. Visit Walgreens today to find a Hallmark card that shows just how much you care for them, because love lives here.
Oh, how's that flu, babe? Did you take Dayquil Intense Flu yet?
Nah, I got this. Ugh, okay, I don't got this.
You stay on the couch, and I'll grab the Dayquil.
Undo your flu symptoms with Dayquil Intense Flu. Dayquil Intense Flu provides powerful relief of your flu symptoms.
I'm ready for that to-do list.
Wow, you do got this.
Dayquil Intense Flu. The daytime coughing, aching, fever, under your flu medicine. Use as directed, keep out of reach of children.
The Gamecock Central Takeover Hour with Tyler Head, along with Chris Clark and Wes Mitchell from Gamecock Central. Sponsored by Firehouse Subs. Call or text 803-404-6100 on the Game Network and on the 107.5 The Game app.
All right, welcome back in. It is the Gamecock Central Takeover Hour presented by Firehouse Subs. Tyler, West, and Chris along with you here on your Friday. Again, getting you set for a full weekend of sports. Again, softball back in action later on this afternoon and through the weekend for the Gamecock Invitational. Men's basketball in action tomorrow afternoon, taking on Missouri at 1 o'clock. Pregame coverage starting at 12:30 here on the game. Then another huge matchup for women's basketball as they take on Tennessee coming up Sunday at 3 with pregame coverage starting at 2:30, all leading to the big game itself, the Super Bowl number 60 with the Seahawks and the Patriots Sunday night at 6:30, which you can watch on NBC. You guys get in on any of the funky Super Bowl props or anything like that for this game every year?
Prediction markets?
No, I mean, I'll read a little bit about it. I don't personally get in on it, but yeah, there's some fun stuff out there for sure. Like obviously a couple classics. How long will the national anthem go? What color will the Gatorade bath be? Again, I don't personally partake, but there's some good ones.
The line for the national anthem, by the way, 150 seconds. So just a tick under 2.5 minutes. Charlie Puth doing the national anthem this year. It went over last year with John Baptiste. So I guess, and my thing like last year, he had a piano, so I feel like that makes you drag it on longer. We'll see if Charlie has a piano to perform it, so that may tick it to the over if that's the case. Just my intel on that.
I'm sure somebody has all the background on the average length and what's a fast one, what's a long one. Yeah, I personally don't know.
There's a couple prop bets out there that we actually can't repeat on the air. One of the funniest ones is, will Matt Collins enter the stadium barefoot?
Oh, that's a definite yes.
Yeah, I know. Like, you probably don't get a big payout if you guess on that one. I mean, I literally during the break just saw a picture of him sitting at a media table barefoot playing chess with media members.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Sounds like something Matt Collins would do. Halftime show, Bad Bunny. Y'all fans, interest level for that?
I mean,
minimal.
Minimal, but I really don't really care is the thing. Like this whole people being upset about the halftime show being someone they don't listen to or whatever. I frankly, let me make sure I get this one right. I quite literally could not care less.
I have a friend from college who's got a brother who's 2 or 3 years older, and every single year after that Super Bowl halftime show, he posts the same multi-paragraph rant on Facebook that they need to let George Strait do the halftime show. No theatrics, no dancing, no nothing. It's just him on a stool with a guitar and a microphone. And my comment every single year is that is never going to happen. Stop wishing for this.
Y'all both just he copy and paste his paragraph, and you copy and paste your response.
Yes, I'm like, the halftime show is a theatrical performance for all the people that probably aren't interested in the football game. You're never going to get a bare bones basic halftime show. It's always going to be some kind of spectacle and event.
Yes.
Guys, you know what my old man yells at clouds on for the Super Bowl? Has nothing to do with the halftime show.
Okay.
It actually has to do with the commercials.
All right.
So I saw, and I've tried to avoid this a little bit, but I saw on Twitter the, hey, here is the Coca-Cola commercial for the Super Bowl. Here's the... I don't want to see this stupid thing on social media before the game. Like, this is the one time in your entire sports viewing life that you actually are interested in the commercials. I want to sit there and be surprised by the commercial. I want to sit there and say, how long into this commercial does it take before I realize what this commercial is for? That was a terrible commercial. That was a great commercial. This is the only time the entire 365 days of the year that I am paying full attention to the commercials. Do not show me the commercial on social media before the Super Bowl is actually played.
I'm right there with you, and I too have tried to avoid seeing any of them, and up to this point, knock on wood, I haven't seen any yet. And I'm sure there's a reason in terms of engagement or all that kind of stuff is why they do that. But yeah,
Tyler, there is no reason.
They would give you a reason if you asked them, the brands that is. But yeah, I like to be surprised, and I do look forward to the commercials as well. And all right, what's Doritos got this year? Is Budweiser going to make us cry this time with a Clydesdale again? Like, what have we got cooking? And yes, the ones where you have to seriously debate, okay, what is this commercial for? Am I going to find out before it ends or like at second number 29?
Yeah, I actually enjoy watching the commercials in the Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. So don't try to take that away from me, society.
I like that take. I haven't seen any of them, I don't think. I've been able to keep...
They're out there, though.
Oh, yeah, they are. I think the premise is probably to drum up interest to where people are going, oh, I'm going to tune in so I can see that commercial again, even though you can just go watch it on social media like you did the first time. And you're drumming up some like Super Bowl, like you leak your commercials so that you get the free advertising, I guess.
Yeah.
But I'm with you, Wes. I like it to be a new experience altogether.
Yeah, we'll see who pulls out the best ones for Super Bowl Sunday. Final minute or so here. What happens? Seattle, 4.5-point favorite. Seems like, I know Elijah came in and asked you for your score prediction a moment ago, I think. What happens, Wes?
I mean, it's just a bland answer, but I think Seattle is the more complete team. Honestly, I've got Seahawks, and there's a homer aspect as well. I'd love to see Nick and Ernest go out there and get their rings. I got 24-21 Seattle.
Yeah, same. Kind of a homer pick, but also do legitimately think the Seahawks have a little bit of a better squad. Should be a really close game, couple really good defenses. Don't think it'll be high scoring. I've got 23-16 Seattle, so a touchdown margin.
Did Elijah tell you what his averages were coming out to in terms of the 100-plus people he've asked so far?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah,
has he shared it on the air yet? Okay.
Yeah.
I think it was like 26-21 maybe, or 26-20, something like that.
I think the lower score is around 19, but yeah, kind of in that same range of mid-20s to around 20 to high teens for the losing score. And funny enough, I'm right there with you, Wes. I actually have 24-21. I hadn't given any thought until he came in and asked me 2 days ago what my prediction was, and that was the first thing that popped into my mind.
That literally, just kind of just came to me too. But that's a common score, obviously.
Sure, and I think it's going to come down to the last minute, last second field goal type thing, and boom, there you go. That sounds like it'd be a fun game.
The opposite of a scoregami, though.
Yes, that would not be a scoregami. That score's happened plenty of times in NFL history, and we'll certainly revisit by ourselves coming up on Monday, and hopefully we have a fun game to talk about then as well.
All right, boys.
Here, let's do it. Again, coming up next, halftime show with myself and Bill Gunner as your Friday continues here in the game.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet studio. Herndon Chevrolet is your hometown dealer. Stop by today or shop online 24/7 at HerndonChevy.com.
All right, guys, I don't know if there's time for you to upgrade the man cave or the home viewing experience in time for the big game on Sunday, but I also am not going to count Integrated Media out if you call them right now at 803-948-8327 or head on over to integratedmediainc.com, or maybe you just want to go ahead and get ready for your other big postseason games in the future. Of course, professional baseball starting soon, basketball postseason, lots of big sporting events to come even after the big one on Sunday. And our friends at Integrated Media, they're going to help everything be upgraded in your home that has to do with your audio and your video, your security, your home theater. I've been wanting to make that step, make that big jump to a home theater system. Maybe you have as well, or maybe it's something a little bit more simple. Hanging the TV, hiding the wires, surround sound in the living room, just upgrading that viewing experience. If any of that sounds of interest to you, hit up our friends at Integrated Media today at 948-8327.
Currently car shopping? State Credit Union now has auto loan rates as low as 4.25% APR. Plus, you'll have no car payment for up to 90 days. Visit one of State Credit Union's 19 full-service branches or their website, scscu.com. That's scscu.com, and apply online for your new car loan today. That's scscu.com. Terms and conditions apply. Equal housing lender. Federally insured by the NCUA.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $200-$300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code COIN to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code COIN for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code COIN for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Meet Lee Platts, a renter whose possessions fill not only her apartment, but also the darkest corners of a mini storage unit. A land of both truth and fiction. Truth, everything inside is protected by Progressive. Fiction, one day Lee will fit into her clothes from senior year of high school. Renters, discover coverage for what you love and what you can't get rid of in Progressive's Protection Zone. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers.
Every morning, we rise and shine, make breakfast, and brush away the night's rest. These routines help us start the day off right. Nature-Made vitamins are a simple step in that daily care regimen. Multivitamins with daily essentials, clinically studied probiotics for gut health support, magnesium to help relax the body. Nature-Made is made to care for you every day. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Yo, this is Ray and Nathan with Pope Davis Tire Automotive.
Dad, why do the other tire places in town not like us?
They are just jelly about our lit prices.
Like the top 17-inch size for your Momobile, $500 for a set of 4 out the door.
Or the top 20-inch truck size for $720 total, no cap.
You can even buy tires online at PopeDavisTire.com.
Why is my line just 6'7"?
6'7".
I don't get it.
PopeDavisTire.com.
Your home for the Gamecocks. 107.5 The Game. WNKT Eastover, Columbia. A Cumulus media station. The Halftime Show with Bill Gunter, Tyler Head, and David Ayer on the Game Network and streaming on the 107.5 The Game app.